that could possibly be in the body that isn't supposed to be there. Because I do have a dog and shit, right? So I'm just gonna go through a pure cleansing and we'll see what happens. Because a lot of people say, right? Well, I'm not prone to any kind of breakouts on my skin, but I do sometimes get like an acne bump here and there, right? And it's so random. And I always wonder why is that? Is it because I eat too much sugar? Or is it because there's something inside me, right? That is always producing these little bumps. And
I think it's the oil, man. I think it's the oil.
No, there's no oil. No, I've always had like
You said olive oil.
shit. No, but yeah, olive oil is good for you. Right? My hands are amazing. Like, bro, I've been in olive oil for fucking years. It's so good for you.
Are you sure it's not mixed?
No, bro, I work in Italian restaurants, my guy.
Okay. I'm with you, Vlad, bro. I eat olive oil pretty much every day, at least once, if not twice. And I even use olive oil soap too, organic olive oil soap.
If it's real olive oil, that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of
100%, bro. I know, man. Trust me. I know the difference between real olive oil and shit oil. I know that. Trust me. Hey, yo, who are you talking to? Hey, yo.
Hey.
You see my fucking pizzas? Hey, yo. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Don't insult me, guy. Anyways, what I'm trying to tell you is, before I got interrupted, I forgot what I'm about to say.
What are you talking about?
No, but I was talking just in general, staying healthy. And because I heard that if you have parasites in your body of any sorts, right? Because parasites are eating on something that you're putting into your body or whatever, like whether it be sugars, et cetera, all kinds of weird shit, right? And what these parasites do is they also have their own digestive system, so they do shit inside your own body, right? And then your body's trying to get rid of those toxins, and therefore you get like breakouts or whatever, or rashes and et cetera, all kinds of weird shit, right?
That's what cancer is, dude. It's just parasites dumping cancer into your body.
They're like exactly my fucking point here now. So what I'm gonna try and do is, because I do sometimes get these weird ass little acne bumps sometimes, it's because I swear to God it's all the sugar I eat. But I'm going to test it out. I'm going to go through this crazy red clover, green walnut hull extract, and sweet wormwood fucking. And I know exactly where to go to find pure drops of this. There's a store right down the street. I can't believe it. And then the next thing is the NR and the NMN. I heard this shit keeps you young. If you guys ever heard of this. There's this billionaire, right? That's been doing all kinds of shit to try to stay young, right? He's like in his 60s, but he looks like he's fucking 30 or some shit. And he says the best thing ever is to replenish the NR or / the NMN inside your body, because as you age, your body can't replenish it. I don't fucking know the guy's name. Maybe. He has like curly red fucking hair.
Oh, I don't know.
Or is it red, or it's like weird? I don't know, man.
Also collagen too, right? NMN and collagen together will make you young.
There you go. Collagen's in that too. But the collagen I eat is from the eggs, the raw eggs. So I'm literally looking for just NMN. Although NMN is found in natural sources too, but I'm gonna try and get like pure of it and try and.
You know what's really good for collagen? You know it's really good for collagen because collagen is hard to get. There's type 1 and type 2. And that's what keeps like your joints lubricated, your skin lubricated, your hair strong. Like it's connected to so many parts in the body. And generally in our diets these days, we have almost no collagen. You know, most people are just eating, like if you eat flesh meat, there's a little bit in there, but you don't get any type 2. It's only a little bit of type 1. And it's really not enough. So if you eat if you make like a chicken broth with the whole chicken, yeah, you'll get type 1 and type 2. But not everybody's eating that regularly, of course. So, you know, it's kind of like not that common of a
I do that
food, at least in the United States. You know, in other countries, yeah, they have more of their traditions. But what I was gonna say is like bone powder, like basically raw bone powder, is like such a powerful like superfood because you get all the calcium. It's called MHCA, microcrystalline hydroxycalapatite. That's actually the whole name.
Okay.
Yeah, MCHA. And it's basically just like animal bone, like raw in a powder form. When you can consume that, then it's like for collagen and calcium and all these other like peptides, like nutrient peptides that all help with like for people that have osteoporosis, like severe osteoporosis, like things like raw milk and stuff can help to reach. But it seems like giving them like raw bone like really takes them out of osteoporosis and actually builds the bone back because you're eating bone and it has all the materials that you need all of the cofactors and. Because that whole thing I just listed off, the MCHA, that has like, it's a whole complex. It's not just calcium. It's a complex of all kinds of trace minerals and So yeah.
What do you think about that link I pinged you, Gio?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with all these kinds of things. Yeah.
I mean, is that enough, or is that what you're talking about? Because that,
well,
I mean, that's what I've been taking, and
there's a lot of shit, bro.
Dude,
this
it's
is more like a
changed.
bone broth, which is like a cooked version rather than the raw bone powder. But I mean,
Okay.
I don't know how they're making this exact product. I'd have to look because there's different kinds.
Dude, I love it. I just put it in my hot drinks. Mix it up. It's a little pasty, but
oh yeah, dude. No, that's got like that. Yeah, it's got the bone complex. I mean, it's in the cooked
Quality
form. Like the
bovine
thing about
gelatin.
cooked is that you don't really get as much of the calcium. Like if you want like a potent dose of like 2,000 milligrams of calcium, which a lot say we should be having every day, and most people are probably getting not even close to that. But if you eat like the bone powder, you'll get that. Whereas if you eat like a bone broth or when it's cooked, the calcium won't even be close to that. So that's one thing. It does reduce some of the heat. The heat can, but the gelatin itself, yeah, I mean that's got because when you make bone broth, you know if you've ever made it and you know it's like you make the whole broth, you pour it into like a mason jar, put it in the fridge, and the next day it's like thick and it's like gelatin. Yeah.
Well, if you do it right, it becomes really jelly.
You need K2 to make the calcium bioavailable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, K2. There's like the two different kinds, like MK4 and MK7. Those are important too. Yeah, I agree. And those are kind of part of that complex with the calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, vitamin A. There's so many factors. And then, yeah, those K2. The K2s are like the activators, is my understanding of them. They're kind of like they kind of tell the minerals where to go. It's like you need the minerals, but then you need them to be told where to go in the body. So they place in the right places and don't just get urinated out or not utilized. And those K2s seem to be that part that kind of helps with that utilization.
Plus, you don't want a whole bunch of calcium built up in your bloodstream, right?
Yeah, especially if it's even like like when people just take like those like chalk supplements with no K2. Yeah, they're just like chalking their body at that point. There's so many parts of the animal that we just don't really eat. I mean, people in other countries do eat it more, like brain. People usually shiver if they hear the idea of eating brain. But like in Europe, they like put it in with the scrambled eggs, and it just kind of adds like a buttery. Like brain is kind of just like a kind of a smooth gelatiny kind of like meat, like meaty. And when they put it in with like egg yolks and stuff, it mixes really well. But like that's a food that hardly like very few people eat in the United States. It's even hard to get, but in other countries they still have it. But like brain is extremely high in phosphatidylserine, which is a compound. There's phosphatidylcholine and phosphatidylserine, but these are like really potent for like maintaining memory as we age and like being neuroprotective. And again, it's one of those nutrients because it's not really in other things very much. There's a little bit in eggs actually. You can get some there, but it's pretty hard to get, especially in like a potent enough quantity. But if you eat some brain, you'll definitely get a lot of it, and it's connected to like intelligence and memory and not only memory but also like actual like brain function. It's like brain food, and it's like an essential nutrient for the brain. It happens to be found in animal brain and some in eggs too, because the egg kind of contains everything that the chicken's going to become. So it has some of these same foundational nutrients.
Fuck yeah. So I'm about to be 40, and this is why we're trying to stay young, because I still look like I'm kind of 20. I was at a bar like fucking not too long ago, maybe like a week ago, 2 weeks ago. And I'm asking these girls, 22-year-old girl, she tells me I'm like mid-20s. I'm like, ha, no fucking way. You gave me mid-20s? Oh, shit. I'm almost 40, boys, right? So I want to stay as young looking as possible, right? So I started, it wasn't like I was looking into this shit. It just kind of, I don't know. I'm fucking doom scrolling on the internet, and all of a sudden, shit like this starts popping up. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, dude. There's all kinds of stuff that is anti-aging and like helps like tonify the like organs and things like reishi mushroom. You know about reishi?
Yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah.
That's a longevity. Some of these herbs are like longevity herbs, and they seem to have these like where they actually. I mean, I know it's a big claim to claim like anti-aging or slowing aging, and I know there's all kinds of claims out there, but things like reishi mushroom, I mean, they've been like immortalized for millennia as it's like Shaga and reishi are known as like the king and queen of the pretty much the entire like Chinese medicinal system, like herbal wise, like reishi and Shaga together. So yeah, they have like the idea of like telomeres and lengthening telomeres, like it's not even fully known, maybe all the ways of how it functions, but a lot of it is known in terms of like with reishi, why it has a lot of these effects.
I was looking at that Joe Rogan podcast with that mushroom guy, just to hear what he would say. And he said that every day he takes cayenne pepper, lion's mane, and microdose psilocybin. Like every day. He takes those three together, and he says they're synergistic.
Nice.
Well, I mean, microdosing psilocybin every day is kind of crazy, but
Depends on how micro, because if it's micro.
I mean, you still feel the gut rot, man. That's the worst part of it, man. You probably just feel the gut rot the whole day, bro. It's like, why the fuck are you doing? Microdosing mushrooms. Fuck that.
What are you talking about? Stomach pain?
What?
You said gut rot?
Yeah, it's when you eat the mushrooms and you get gut rot. Yeah.
Your stomach hurts, like stomach ache kind
It
of thing?
feels weird. It gets all like, yeah, it's like it feels like it's jelly and it's moving. Yeah, that's what gut rot is.
Well, one of the things is like I've always said about that, a lot of the mushrooms like that are grown indoors, like in people's basements and stuff, they could have like molds and funguses and they're grown on like funky grains and like who knows what's going on versus like ones that you would find in the wild. Because yeah, I have definitely had some like stomach weirdness with some of the mushrooms, but I've always thought it's like linked to how they were handled and what other contaminants
No,
might be.
it's general all mushrooms in the end, like because I had different multiple sources, and like in the beginning you get the euphoric feeling, but after like having enough trips, you get used to the euphoria, so then you're like more into like the doom state of the fucking shroom, and then yeah, like it just feels like shit always now. I don't have any good mushroom trips anymore. You know what I mean? They used to be good, but now they suck every time
Dude,
because
it's
I know
kind of
it too well.
it's a little bit the same for me, actually. Like maybe not exactly the same, but pretty similar to what you're saying. Yeah, it kind of
Yeah,
like
well, everybody gets
yeah.
there. Trust me, everybody.
I mean,
gets
I'm just
there.
saying with mushrooms in particular. Now, I'm not talking like with ayahuasca or anything like that. I'm just saying
No,
with
no, mushrooms. Only
particularly.
mushrooms. This will
Yeah,
only feel it with the mushrooms. Yeah,
yeah,
nothing else. Every other
yeah.
psychedelic has its own thing, but the mushrooms, you'll eventually get to the point where you start hating the mushroom. You don't even like it anymore. You're like, fuck the mushroom.
I don't know
It's
about that.
true. No,
I
no,
don't feel
it's
like
that
that per
serious.
se.
It's that fucking serious. No, I'm serious. I know people like that too. I know people that have done shrooms for such a long time to the point where they just don't have good trips anymore. They're always like
Well,
shit. They're not bad trips.
you
They're
know
just
what
like
though, dude? What about
shit.
like
They're like, I hate it.
all right, so with something like ayahuasca, like it's just ayahuasca, like fully. Like if you blend those two plants, you're getting ayahuasca every time. It's two plants, for example. But with mushrooms, like there's all these different species. Now, this like, do you think that like in terms of like the spirit of the mushrooms, like do you think there's one spirit of them, or do you think the mushrooms are more like a carrier for maybe various different things? Because I will say, like in different mushroom blends I've had, like on the spirit level, like yeah, it's not consistent the way like I mean ayahuasca is very consistent. Peyote is very consistent. Iboga is as well, just consistent as and those are like very high intelligence. But mushrooms can be pretty like wild sometimes, like sometimes like unbridled and yeah, I mean I know they can be very healing for people as well, but I don't know, what do you think of that? Do you think there could be different species that might connect like have different spirits or do you think it's kind of all the same?
I know for a fact, just like marijuana strains, there's different marijuana strains, and when you smoke them, that you get different shit.
Yeah.
100% with mushrooms, there's different strains. That's why there's like golden caps. Like you look for specific mushrooms if you want to get really fucking high. You're looking for the blue stems, the blue veiny stems, and the fucking gold caps, right? And if you find like small fucking mushrooms that are gold caps and blue stemmies, and you take a few of those, you're going for a crazy trip, my guy. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. Oh, the golden caps. Yeah, those are
The golden
very
caps with the blue stems, like the blue veiny stems.
Dude, I
Right?
had
And it
these
doesn't
ones
even
that were like
go ahead, sorry.
I had these ones that were like tiny, like they were like a half-inch big, like these tiny little mini guys. Dude, I ate like a high dose of those. That was wild, dude. Like it felt like young mushrooms. Like it felt like baby mushrooms. It was a trip, dude. They were these little minis.
But did you feel like it was a mushroom trip? Did you did you get the visuals and whatnot, or?
It was, yeah, it was, but it wasn't like quite the same. It was like shorter lasting. It didn't seem to really like last as long. It had kind of like a short but sweet kind of boom to it.
So they were pretty young mushrooms, and probably there wasn't enough psilocybin.
Well, I think
That's
it
pretty
was like a
much it.
type though that was also very small, like as well. But yeah, those were. I just thought about those when you were saying that. Just different types, like the golden caps and.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's definitely different types of mushrooms, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Is like you'll have different trips based on the mushroom you eat. 100%, no doubt in my mind.
Dude, have you ever heard of or known anyone that has either had or taken what's called 4-ACO DMT? It's basically like a chemical process they do in a laboratory, to get it down to 4-ACO DMT. And I know there's all these like research chemicals and all that stuff, but 4-ACO DMT apparently is in mushrooms, in psilocybin, and that breaks down into DMT. So you know how mushrooms are not necessarily DMT themselves, but it's like they can activate DMT. They see it, because there's been many times like that I've even just been on mushrooms, and I can tell that like the experience will be going maybe 2 hours in, and then between 2 hours and 2.5 hours, for that half hour, it'll like release a huge like a DMT dump. So there's a lot of interesting connections with psilocybin and DMT. But my point is to say that there's something called 4-ACO DMT, and apparently that has to do with what's in mushrooms that converts into DMT in your body. But apparently, and I haven't tried it, but people, and I have a friend who has and who's aware of it and stuff, and and basically, the claim is that if you just take 4-ACO DMT, it's like tripping on mushrooms, but you don't have like the stomach, like you said, like some of the stomach upset or like maybe the other toxins that are in it. I mean, I'd be a little sketched because it's always like anything that's a kind of chemical, but I was wondering if you ever heard of that you can just take apparently 4-ACO DMT, and people claim it's like very similar to psilocybin, but it's like the good tripping side and not necessarily some of the negative sides that, could be associated with the actual mushroom itself.
I might have heard of it. I just never got the name, but there's always like, yeah, chemical processes to get shit down to a certain point. So I wouldn't be surprised if they fucking, yeah, did what they did to make it like that. I wouldn't be surprised. So it is what it is, man.
You can also take psilocin, like in like a synthetic derivative form. Psilocin is like a synthetic derivative of 4-HO DMT. I just posted the wiki for 4-ACO. Yeah, I just wondered if you had heard of it, because I mean, there's like videos with people on like YouTube that are said they like took it and had it. Yeah,
Listen, the craziest thing I've heard recently, 2CB.
Yeah.
Well, that's the last thing that I've heard of. And now it's just as a pink powder, you do it like fucking blow, and it gets you high like it's urine acid. That's the last thing. That's the only thing I've heard of the newest shit. I've never heard of what you just said.
Well, dude, there's all these like research chemicals now that have been, there's so many different ones out there now that people mess with. So there's like 2CB, there's also 2CI. Because 2CB was like right in the following of like MDMA and like ecstasy. So yeah, that was like kind of around earlier, and then 2CI as well. But yeah, 2CB is kind of like, people say it's like almost like a mixture of like LSD and MDMA sort of. And I've never done that 2CB actually. But I know a lot of my friends have and stuff. They say it's pretty awesome. They like it. I mean, people I've heard that have taken it, but I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm hearing too. A lot of people are saying this shit about the 2CB, that it's actually like there's like no negative side to it technically. Well,
yeah, dude, I've heard pretty good experiences people have had. One guy was telling me like he was able to stretch like in unbelievable ways and it didn't hurt his body and it felt like good even. Like he was saying it was like a performance enhancing thing that he tapped into. I thought that was interesting.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Recreational chemistry.
That's pretty crazy.
You know that guy Alexander Shulgin?
No, who's that?
He was like a professor, like the highest level professor at like UC Berkeley, like chemistry and all of that. And then he was the one who, well, he reformulated MDMA. So that had already been discovered, but he kind of brought it out of, it had already been discovered before, but no one had touched it. And then he recreated it. But he also was the one that invented 2CB, I'm pretty sure, 2CB and 2CI. Alexander Shulgin, he's like a chemist, and he basically created like hundreds, if not maybe even thousands of like tryptamines and phenethylamines. Like the tryptamines are like DMT is a tryptamine, for example, and the phenethylamines like mescaline is a phenethylamine, for example. MDMA is a phenethylamine. So tryptamines and phenethylamines are like these two major categories. And he literally like invented like novel new chemicals that had never been made before in the history of, as far as we know, and literally synthesize them, and then he would take them, him and his group, his friend of trippers and friends and all that. They would like, and these are not like necessarily hippies with like tie-dye, these are just like, yeah, this guy's a professor, and then anyways, but he's like a psychonaut really, because he ended up like inventing these chemicals like one after the other, and then him and his group of friends would all try it. They would take a small dose, see how they feel, write in their journal, take a little higher dose, and then they would all report back their experiences. And he has two books, like TCOL and PCOL, and it stands for like tryptamines I have known and loved, or phenethylamines I have known and loved. So it's like PCOL, TCOL. Yeah, he's got these two books that are like just epic. But yeah, he was literally inventing all these like basically psychedelic and pathogen type drugs and chemicals, and I'm calling them drugs because yeah, they are like pretty much synthetic at that point. It's not even like a plant, but yeah, it's pretty. And I'm pretty sure he invented 2CB.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he did. He invented 2CB in 1974. First one to
19. That shit was 1974. That's crazy, and I only heard about it like fucking not too long ago. I didn't even know that fucking shit existed. Isn't that crazy?
No, I don't think it was on the streets though at all back then. See, that's the thing, dude. He made these with his crew. I actually like know people that were. Anyways, I know people like in his kind of group and I mean he's.
I get you.
He's passed on. He's not still with us, but yeah, but anyways, no, I'm saying he may have invented it in 1974. And he may have even experimented with it. I don't know the whole story of his early thing with that, but I don't think that really hit like any of the rest of the world until, I mean, when did you first hear of it? I mean, probably like 2000 or after, really, it seems like.
Yeah,
like 90s,
fuck, really. Man. Like, why I heard. Hello?
Yeah, you cut out.
Yeah. I was about to say, I like heard about it like 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
This is
First
saying
time I
that
heard
like
about 2CB.
this is saying it started getting some popularity after MDMA was made illegal in 1985. So I think maybe in like the rave scene, like maybe in some of those years it may have been around. But yeah, it didn't seem to really hit until later as being like out there more.
That'd be crazy, man. Being around that guy. Like, yo, guys, I got something new. Let's go. And then fucking every weekend you're like partying out on new shit. But I mean, how much different of a feeling do you think? 'Cause I don't even think there's gonna be like that big of a fucking difference. Guarantee you.
Well, he also got fucked with by the DEA and all that too. And they
I wouldn't be
came and
surprised.
yeah, they raided his whole place, took all of his like inventions, like paperwork, you know, beakers, everything. This movie I just posted in chat. This is actually, this is the whole thing you just watch for free on YouTube, but it's called Dirty Pictures because when he wrote these new chemicals, he would take like a little piece of paper and he would sketch out the chemical structure. So it's called Dirty Pictures because like, there's these little notepads that he had with all these different chemicals on them. That's what the Dirty Pictures are. But yeah, that's a whole documentary, like pretty much on his life. And
here's the thing. How does he know the chemical structure? Like, okay, like, do you understand chemistry well or no?
To a degree, but it's definitely not my specialty.
Right. So when I ask you, like, okay, these AH line, O line, whatever, like that structure's on just on paper, right? It's not like it's in reality, right? Like these bonds, or are they, or no? Yeah, they're just. Do they physically look like that in reality, or these chemical bonds are just like? Do you understand what I'm asking?
I do, dude, totally. Yeah. I mean, I could share some of my thoughts on it. I know that like it'd be cool if Jace was in here. He was actually in here earlier, but he's a biochemist. He could go into all this, the way like electron microscopes and these spectroscopy and how these can like, yeah. Okay, you're saying like the structures that they build, is that just a model? You're saying like are you saying is that just like a model where they're like, okay, you know, where they're drawing it out, or is that what it actually is in reality? Is that what you're saying? Or is it just a model of how these things act and then claiming different things are linked to different things? Is that what you're like the difference between those?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I really want to, like, how do they build these little chemical model structures? Like, so when this guy reads, like, he sketched these little fucking lines out, right? Like, what's in his head? Like, see, like, let's say, for example, on a computer, right? I'm about to like create like a micro, what do you call it? A microcontroller, right? So like, I'll write out a truth table, right, with ones and zeros. It's like pretty much, right? Give me all the inputs, outputs type shit, right? And then I create like the and or logic after the truth table, right? Well, after the K map, right? So like there's specific reasons why I use the truth table, why I use the K map, right? And then I implement all this writing into reality using and or gates, fucking not gates, right? I use whatever's on paper, right? I drew it out, but I can literally put it into physical, like I can make it work physically, right? Do you get what I'm saying? With these chemical guys, right? Like if this guy's he's drawing all these lines and fucking letters on a fucking piece of paper. Now, how is he gonna create that chemical structure? You know, you get what I'm saying? How is he gonna like put it together? That's what I want to fucking know.
Yeah, I know. Well, I guess it's like they break things down into these different constituents and then add them and then
I understand
like
that liquid pouring liquids together, and these liquids separate this thing, and then these liquids bind these things together, blah blah blah, and
I
through
like how you're
trial and
saying, you're
error.
like, yeah, it's like really complex. You're like, yeah, you mix that with that. I get that's funny, dude.
Well, I mean, no,
Yeah.
but it's all trial and error in the end, because like in the end they've marked everything down, right? They had to try it before to know what it actually does or how it would react, right?
Well,
You
dude,
know
that
what
guy,
I'm
yeah.
saying? Most of this chemistry shit was trial and error in the beginning, but then they've created a fucking structure after the fact, right? They didn't create the structure first, and then all of a sudden, you
You're
know what I
saying, did
mean?
they get the structure exactly from physical reality, or did they make up the structure based on how the chemicals function together?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I really don't understand the whole fucking how they got all that shit together. That's what I really want to fucking know. How did they like even the periodic truth table, like the periodic table of elements, right? The periodic table of elements, right? Like even that.
Well, dude, if anyone else wants to jump in on this, I was gonna say this though, dude. That guy Jay Ace, like he had broke down to me. I want to ask him for like a refresher on it, because I was asking him. So you know, like there's LSD and there's LSD 25. That's the one that's psychedelic. But there's also
Right.
LSD 24, 23, 22. because
Right.
Albert Hoffman was working on these lysergamide extracts for basically pharmaceutical drugs, and it turned out that like LSD-24 is not psychedelic, LSD-26 is not psychedelic, but LSD-25 is. So, and then I was asking Jay, it's like, what does that mean? What is the 25? And because it's all lysergic diethylamide, it's all the same LSD part, but then it's 25. And then he was like I said, I almost need a refresher on it because it's not something that would be a specialty that I would have known of otherwise. But he kind of was basically, we had looked into it. We could go into it more now, and I could remember it too. But I'm not trying to talk for super long right now. But I'm just saying, my main point is just that, like, basically it has to do with like the reactive components that are used in addition. So like there's basically a longer chemical name that is beyond LSD. So you have LSD, lysergic diethylamide, lysergic acid diethylamide, and then the 25 part is a whole extra added chemical thing that they just don't add to it. They just call it 25, instead of trying to label it all out. So anyways, yeah, so that has to do with like the different reactives. And the thing is that's so crazy about that is, like I said, 24 is not psychedelic, 26, 27, none of those are, and 25 is. So yeah, dude, like what is going on with those chemicals? But I think that's the thing. They know that, and then they know what they added to it, that you know what I mean? They know which chemicals would link together based on, so it is like pulled from reality in a way, but I also think it's kind of a model. Like that's not exactly what they look like in reality, but that seems to be how they function. I think it's electrostatic.
But it was still trial and error. See, in order for him to get to the 25, he was trial and erroring, right? So like the 24, what is 24? What did he do during the 24, right? What did he do during 23? Because it started with the 1, right? So he did 1, 2, 3 to 25, and he got to 25, right? So all the rest of the 24, what the fuck did he do with the rest of them? What was he putting in there? Right? So it was all trial and error in the end, right? But he had to mark it off. Okay, so I did this here. Okay, this is what happened. Okay, well, let's go to number 2. So he puts this in number 2. And it's like a long, tedious process, but that's what trial and error is, right? In the end?
Yeah. Just doing that over and over.
But what is he doing? What is he putting in there? Or how is he doing? That's what I'm trying to figure this shit out. Like,
I know it's like a reactive that they add to it. I think this is it. I mean, it's crazy.
I'm playing a game right now, but yeah, hold on.
It's all good. You don't even really have to look at it if you don't want. It's in the chat, but it's this extremely long NN-diethyl 7-methyl 6,6A 8,9 tetrahydro 4H indolo 4,3 FG quinoline 9 carboxamide. Wow, I did pretty well with that.
Well, that's pretty crazy because that's all different versions of chemicals put into one fucking bath, right?
I guess.
But that's what it would mean, right? That's what I would understand. Like that whole string of chemical names is because each little word would be a chemical within that fucking, but that would be like the di means how much of it, right? Or like the trypto, whatever, you know what I mean? Like the prefix determines how much, right? Read that name.
I took chemistry in college. I took chemistry in undergrad in college. I got through it, but I was not a big fan of it. And it was very like, dude, it is a pretty, like of all the sciences, chemistry is pretty impressive. Like there is something to it. It's not just BS like astrophysics and shit. So yeah, it was interesting, but I mean, obviously that was not going to be my life path, at least not that particular form of it. So yeah, I kind of just got through it.
Is this a Breaking Bad formula?
Oh, yeah. What's up, dude?
What's up?
We're talking chemistry. Are those little fucking chemical like is that reality? Is it a model? What are these circles, lines, the way the chemical
6.6A and 8.9. Yeah. I'm not going there. So the dirty pictures, man. That sounds super interesting. I bookmarked that one, man. I got it hooked up.
Yeah, I could definitely recommend it. Yeah, his life is amazing and
sounds interesting.
Yeah, and pretty good.
And it's got like 600,000 views over a year. That's pretty good. I mean, must be good, man.
Yeah, I got like a wild life, dude. I mean, he invented like hundreds. Like I said, I don't even know if it's into the thousands or if it's hundreds exactly, but many like novel chemicals that had never even been created, like synthesized before.
Nobody's ever heard of this guy, right?
Well, he was pretty suppressed. Yeah, the DEA came in and shut him down because he was like a professor, like a high-level professor at UC Berkeley. So I mean, he was not like some random dude or whatever. But so he had all the equipment, all the know-how to do this. And being in Berkeley, of course, I mean, Berkeley's pretty popping.
It's pretty crazy, man. They let you get away with a lot of shit up there, but if you go against the school, man, they'll come down on you.
Well, the pharmaceutical companies eventually, got.
It's like, dude,
well, they need precursor chemicals, I assume. Where the fuck are they getting all that shit, right?
From Dow Chemical and those kind of guys.
I mean, paperwork, paper trail, et cetera, et cetera. Somebody got pinched. That's it.
No doubt. Well, what's up,
Larry? Well, he worked for Dow. He worked for Dow Chemical as well. So
there you go.
I mean,
so he got caught for sure. He was stealing.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna. I don't know.
Well, I can only assume.
Yep. Oh,
the dude showed up.
What's up, Riggsy?
Yo, I was saying, like, we needed the trifecta. We need some more Daves in here.
Yeah, we do. Some more Daves. Dave's not here, man. He did type something in the chat. Anyway, on YouTube.
Dude, just to clear the record to make sure I'm right on this, he either went to UC Berkeley or he was a professor there. He did work for Dow Chemical. When you said Dow, that rung a bell as well, because I haven't really thought about him in some years. So maybe he just went to Berkeley, and he went to Harvard. He went to Harvard and Berkeley, it looks like. But I think, and then he worked for Dow. So maybe he wasn't. Yeah, he got a PhD in biochemistry from UC Berkeley.
Yeah,
and
either
then he
way.
started, and then he started working for Dow. Okay, I just want to clear the record to make
All
sure.
right.
So I guess maybe he wasn't a professor there. Maybe he went there, got the highest level stuff, and then went and worked for Dow, and then started creating psychedelics in his laboratories. And then
Dude, it sounds like a total fucking Breaking Bad kind of deal, you know.
well, yeah, when you work for Dow, you probably had access to all those
Yeah.
precursors. Like
All the
Vlad was
killers.
saying, how does he get all those? Yeah. You work for Dow.
Working it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there's that biochemist guy comes in here once in a while. You guys have talked to him. He's way over my head, man. But you guys have yacked at him. I just listen. Maybe I'll learn something.
Yeah,
It says here, in order to work, let me read this real quick. It says, in order to work with scheduled psychoactive chemicals, Shulgin obtained a DEA Schedule 1 license for an analytical laboratory, which allowed him to synthesize and possess any otherwise illicit drug. Shulgin set up chemical synthesis laboratory in a small building behind his house, which gave him a great deal of career autonomy. Shulgin used his freedom to synthesize and test effects of potentially psychoactive drugs. Dude, that is wild. So he actually had DEA Schedule 1 license in his backyard to basically cook these things up. And then they ended up like raiding him. So obviously that didn't last, but
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, he had the license for the job that he was doing, but he was that fucking, I guarantee you, that backyard fucking lab he had, nobody knew about it.
Exactly. Until they found out, and then they
Until
took it
somebody
out.
pinched him, right? Because he was making too much fun chemicals, or he was using the chemicals, right? Exactly, where are these chemicals? Somebody's gonna go and fucking go through the inventory and then find something missing, right? And then they're just gonna link it to him.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna watch the documentary.
100%. Well, I mean, I'm speculating here, but yeah.
He got raided in 94. Wow, that sounds like so long ago.
It's
Like he
fucking
was on the cutting edge of psychedelic like synthesis of these things in 94 and he was getting popped. Meanwhile, I'm like, well, I'm 13 years old. That's crazy how life works.
Isn't that crazy, man? That was 31 years ago, man. Damn. Time flies when you're having fun.
94, eh?
Time flies when you're doing psychedelics, man.
I was 7 in 94. 5.
It says he was fined $25,000 for violating its terms. But yeah, basically it's just saying that they're basically cookbooks how to make what they're calling illegal drugs is what he was doing. Like, creating these ways of doing it. So yeah, it makes sense that it's kind of funny, it's like maybe they gave him a little leash to see if they could help, if he could help them. And then once it went to the point where it's like, all right, he's not really helping us very much. Like, we'll just pop him now.
Yeah. Yeah, he was probably too cutting edge. He was going to expose some easy ways to do some stuff. Maybe that you wouldn't have to pay much. Who knows? But
yeah, I bet that guy would have been open to flat Earth.
Right?
I bet he knew it.
I met him. I wish I would have brought it up, but I wasn't.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. I'll send him an email, man.
I mean, I didn't like meet him. I didn't really hang out with him for a long time, but I was standing like right next to him there and kind of smiling and like, yeah, talking a little bit and stuff. Yeah. So I didn't like have like a sit down long thing with him, but I mean, it was when he was pretty old. He was like, he had a big smile on his face. He looked like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
That's funny.
Perpetual grin.
I met Timothy Leary once, man. That was a trip. Total trip.
Who the fuck is Timothy Leary?
Shut up.
How did you shut up, man? Maybe I know him. I just fucking.
He was the acid king, I think they called him.
He was like the Harvard professor
yeah, the guy that yeah. No way, you fucking met that guy?
Yeah.
He had like a cult going, no?
I met him at a Blue Oyster backstage at a Blue Oyster Cult concert.
Yeah, they fucking were doing acid for like months straight, right?
I
He
guess.
had like
Who knows?
craziest thing he did.
I know that he got thrown in jail in France. And in France, when he said he was in jail, that they would only limit him to 1 bottle of wine a day.
Only one.
Just one a day,
That's
bro.
crazy, bro.
He goes, yeah.
That's terrible for an alcoholic.
I thought that was hilarious, man. Like, okay. The French like their wine, you know. So,
dude, they called Tim Leary the most dangerous man in America at one point. Remember that? That was the propaganda. Because he was basically telling people, he had that phrase, what was it? Turn on, tune in, and drop out.
That's
which
it.
Basically kind of means like, it's like turn on
your mind.
Turn on your mind, like, yeah, wake up kind of thing. Tune in, like tune into yourself, tune into tune into what's going on, and then drop out of the bullshit matrix and do your own thing. Yeah.
Or a lot of people said drop out of school, you know.
It might have gotten taken that way, but dude, it's just, I mean, that was like one of his phrases, but it's just the most dangerous man in America just because he was telling people about the LSD. And I mean, he was being a bit like evangelical about it, but I mean, people are evangelical about all kinds of things, you know, like why does that make him the most dangerous man in America? But it makes sense to me because LSD is one of the most powerful substances in the world in terms of like deprogramming people's minds I've even, I mean, it's purged demons from people and stuff. So yeah, it would make sense that the powers that be would have incredible fear around that because they've got everyone in mind control, and if that has in any way of unmind controlling people, then they would want to suppress it.
Listen, last time I did acid, I just had to do it. I know it, and I did it during right after the peak of the full moon.
Okay.
It was a special day. I had to do it. I know I had to do it that day. There's no other day to do it except that fucking day.
Right.
I took 4 hits.
Wow.
And it solved all my problems in my head.
Okay. It rearranged all the.
Well, yeah, because there's like some shit in my head that I was like, fuck, but it's just, you know, you're holding on to something, like, but I know you're not supposed to hold on to this, you know, and just the acid just help me let it go. Yeah.
Compartmentalize things a little better, right?
Yeah, maybe a lot. Well, yeah, like fucking knocked more sense into me, you know, like fuck, you know, I'm too much dreaming, but I'm like fucking no, acid fucking brought me into reality at that point, especially about that situation.
Nice.
You know?
Yeah. Good to hear that.
Well, I had no choice.
It's like it distills reality or something. Like it distills who you are in some essence way, and it tends to kind of peel away things that are not of your essence, even though that can be challenging. I know what you mean, dude. Like that level of like reset. Even if you're like spiraling in some way in your life, I don't mean complete spiraling, but we're all probably spiraling at some point with something. And then you take a big dose of LSD. I used to do that like in college and shit, where I just knew that there was like some tension building. I would just take a big dose and listen to music and then it would just be such a huge reset. And I would work through like tons of stuff within my mind and my life, and then just like think and being able to kind of put things into their like more distilled place of where they need to be. It's always helped me to like refocus and improve myself.
Right. Acid is awesome when it comes to shit like that. I've done it so many times.
There's basically just lysergic acid, which does come from nature. It's in like certain seeds, like an entheogen. So you're just getting this like
right
kind of dose of it with LSD like that.
Imagine this. Imagine this. Even the worst fucking like I was like, this was so long ago, but like I was into this girl for so fucking long, and me and her had such fucking crazy relationship, right? And I never actually like I kept her at a distance when it came to like the sexual thing, because back then I was a little bit fucking stupid and naive when it came to women, and I thought that these girls were like nice and shit. But nah, anyways. So one day I was fucking. The thing is, I was fucking other bitches. I just kept, and this girl was so hot, and she wanted to fuck me so much, and I just kept trying to distance because I liked her so much. And yeah, I was drunk downtown one night at a bar. I used to work at this bar, but I was outside this bar, and this bar was right beside a club. And and I know the owners of the club and all that shit, right? And fucking this motherfucker, one of my friends was coming out, and guess who he was with? He was with this girl. I'm like, fuck, this girl and another friend, which was I knew all of them. We all fucking knew each other. And I'm like, this motherfucker, and I was about to cock block, and he fucking pulled me aside. He's like, bro, look at my eyes, yo, please don't cock block me, guys. Like crying. I'm like, oh, you fucking asshole, right? So I just fucking let it all go, whatever. And then this fucker calls me in the morning and says, yeah, I fucked her, blah blah blah, this and that. But I know he fucking fucked up something for sure. Anyways, didn't even matter. And I'm like, I was so fucking pissed off, and I was so hungover. This was the problem. I was hungover as fuck.
Right.
I just felt like shit. And then I took like 3 hits of acid. Like fuck it, you know, on all that bullshit.
Wow.
And let me tell you how crazy that trip was.
But
Holy fuck! No, man, yo, the vomiting, bro. You're on a hangover taking acid. Oh, think about it. A massive hangover, not just a fucking hell. We're talking something serious. Oh fuck! So say first time I ever threw that shit. Man,
well, LSD kind of takes you to like that brink of like death and rebirth within yourself. So
yeah,
like brings
I
you
felt
to like,
it so much that it doesn't even feel it anymore. Like that's the thing. Like I felt it so much. Like I said, the 4 hits of acid, bro. It was like I knew exactly what I was gonna go through. You know what I mean? And I was like, I faced through it. I'm like, yeah, it was better too. Like at the end, when I came out of it, it was so much better too. But you get used to it, like the ego death, because you already killed your ego a million fucking times. There's nothing more to kill. It's like, yeah, I've been here before, you know. Like every time I come there, then I peek out, and I'm like, yeah, here I am again.
for sure, dude. Oh, that's awesome you do, because that's like the deep work, man. That's tough. Like not everyone goes through that and faces those. Because yeah, like the continual that death rebirth process. I hear you, just like continually facing like just layers and layers within yourself, and with LSD in particular, yeah, dude, it takes you. It's like it takes your ego and just like torques it into this like transformative mode of just like having to confront whatever you might need to confront. And yeah, that can be like unpleasant, chaotic, confusing. It can be unpleasant. You can feel like you're dying, like you're physically dying. It's very intense. The thing is, all these things happen even just doing breath work as well, though. So it's not like caused by the LSD, but the LSD seems to activate it. Dude, there's this phrase like from this this band Fish, you know, PHISH, which I like a lot. But there's this one time where he's like saying, he's like kind of like introducing the drummer or something, and he's like he's a man who has no mind left to lose. I've always thought that's so funny. Like you have no mind left to lose. Oh man, that's kind of that, because those guys have done tons of LSD, and that's how it is. Like you lose your mind, quote unquote, so many times, like temporarily on LSD, that you're actually like more. It's like every time you lose your mind, it's like you rise to a higher level of consciousness. So yeah, it's pretty interesting, that transformative part of it. It's like you lose your mind till there's no mind left to lose, and then you're good.
So,
Well, I don't know what else to say at that point, because how does my life end up? It ends up better for sure. Everything forward, right, or all my actions, right, are determined by the Almighty. Pretty much, I just let whatever is in front of me guide me, essentially, right?
right.
And everything's been good.
So let me ask you guys, in today's acid, man, they used to give acid names like there's like Mickey Mouse and
The
California
fractals.
sunshine.
One of my favorites are these fractal blotters I got. Like those were actually the first time I ever took LSD, were fractal blotters.
Fractal blotters. That was the name of it.
Well, they were fractals, but it was blotter paper, but they were fractals. There was little fractals on the paper.
White on white.
And they were called fractals, but there was like a particular type that was like very clean.
They had like Mickey Mouse was one of them. I was like, what? That's weird.
You guys know I live in Colorado now. I hear that there are Anita muscaria mushrooms. Now, me not being a really heavy tripper, you think I should ease in with the non-criminal psilocybin mushroom? You think I should take those first?
I recommend straight acid, bro.
Amanitas are not even illegal, right? They're fully legal, right? Amanitas.
You'll find LSD in California for sure. I mean, Colorado. 100% there's acid in Colorado.
Let me ask you guys. Is today's acid is like there's some great stuff, or is it just
it's way better? cleaner.
Because I had some once, man. It was like super speedy, and I don't like that kind of trip, man. You know,
Well,
I felt
sometimes they mix
jittery.
LSD with speed. I mean, that's pretty
Right, yeah, I
common.
think I got like some speed mix last time I did it. It was a really bad trip, man. I didn't like
You can
it.
always tell if there's speed in it because not that I've had a lot with speed, but I have had some, unfortunately, that did have speed in it.
Right.
At times, like I've definitely been hit with a few of them in my life, and you can always tell because like at the beginning you get that jacked up weird speed thing.
Yeah.
A few times I've experienced it, and then you like kind of crash from the speed, like whatever 2 or 3 hours later or some BS, whatever speed does. But then you're tripping for like 10 hours, you know. So it's like, yeah, it's fucked up.
It wasn't cool, man. But I don't know if I would
Well, but
try.
whoa, but
I wouldn't
okay. So what is speed? What is speed exactly? Like I've heard the speed shit before. What is
Pink
that
is
meth?
my favorite
Well,
crayon.
methamphetamine, yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's a meth.
methamphetamine.
It's meth, right? So, but like, how do they fucking put meth on blotter paper?
No, no. Well, usually if you're getting speed with LSD, it's going to be in liquid. They put it in like, you know, liquid
Oh,
drug.
okay. So that's how you got it. Okay, because I've only had blotter paper so far.
No, yeah, you can't fit speed on blotter paper. That's one thing. There's a lot of
That's
drugs you
there you
can't.
go.
Yeah, there's a lot of drugs you can't put on blotter paper because because of like the dosage that's needed. So yeah, that's
So there you
kind
go.
of
So that's how you know that my acid was always good is because not only did it was always on blotter paper, I always tested it with a fucking with a tester, and it always turned out purple before I ate it.
But
And then
dude,
when I ate it, it always gave me that 12-hour high. Always, it was always a 12-hour high.
I'm sorry, I
yeah,
didn't
no,
catch
it
an
sounds
answer
like.
to the question. Should I start off with the lower level shit?
Yeah,
No, straight acid. I said, bro. That's what I said. That's my thing. Go straight for
Well,
the
wait,
LSD,
Larry,
bro.
you're saying between psilocybin or amanita?
Yeah. Which one should I start out with? Because I've
3.5
tried
grams.
shut
of
up.
what?
Shut up.
Psilocybin,
Don't do
3.5
that.
grams. Don't go lower. Don't go lower. Go straight 3.5 grams. Eat it
Uh,
all one shot raw. Don't even think about the taste. And then you'll have the best trip. That's your first trip. Remember, if it's your first trip, do exactly what I say. Don't fucking do nothing else.
Well, I've had small doses before, but I don't think 3.5 grams. I don't think I've had.
Well, you need
First
3.5.
time I ever did mushrooms, like when we were in high school, like the basic thing was a half an eighth, which would be half of 3.5, is kind of a beginner amount. Not like to where you might like. I'm not saying you are a beginner. I don't know if you have done it before. I'm just saying in general. That was kind of what it was in high school for us. Like a half an eighth was like check it out, see how you feel. You can walk around the park, you can see, get a little buzz. Because what? That's like 1.7
That's what
grams
Larry,
or
I've
whatever.
done. I've done that before.
Larry,
Yeah, that's a
you
nice
are
one.
you are mentally strong. You have very strong mental fortitude, right? So I guarantee you, 3.5 grams is gonna be child's play for you, man. You can go up to 4 grams even, man. Fuck it. Because
Gotcha.
I've done a fucking ounce, I think, with mushrooms. I ate a whole
Mamma
fucking ounce
mia,
of
that's a
mushrooms.
lot of
I don't know,
pepperoni.
but I was doing it the whole day. I was eating it all day. I woke up, I had this fucking ounce. I stepped eating it until the night. And by the nighttime, I'm like, fuck. I'm not even getting high, bro. I'm just like buzzing the whole time. It's just buzz, buzz, buzz. Not even fucking visuals, right? I'm like, fuck it. There was a whole bunch left. I'm like, so I ate the rest of it, right at night. And that's when I finally peaked. And I was sitting there lying in like fucking up north, just straight on fucking some kind of inflatable mattress, looking at the sky, the crazy night sky, bro, like northern night sky in the summer, no
damn.
clouds, no clouds. You see that tear through the sky, that fucking dragon tear or whatever the fuck you call it,
Milky
right
Way.
through the sky. It's not the Milky Way, it's a tear.
Huh?
It's like something tear through. Anyways, and then all of a sudden there's certain stars, everything was still except certain stars started dancing, literally fucking dancing. And then that's when I started laughing. I'm like, no fucking way, this fucking star is just fucking dancing. Oh
Awesome.
yeah, that's my ounce of mushrooms.
All right. Well,
That's what
don't
I'm
do it
saying,
now.
bro.
I hear people.
You'll never poison yourself, man. I'm telling you, if the worst you'll do is eat too much and shit yourself. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, so Larry, like, they're definitely, I'd say, pretty different between Amanita and psilocybin in a lot of ways. It could be said I mean, many would say this too, that amanitas like have a sort of like a higher like octave intelligence in terms of like kind of the therapeutic realm of things, maybe, or like also just like the spiritual insight level. Like, yeah, I know it's kind of interesting to think of these things like in like a hierarchy, but that is my experience, and many report that as well. Like iboga, the intelligence in iboga is like far beyond mushrooms, and it's not like a hierarchy like one's better than the other, but there does seem to be sort of different layers and levels. And like psilocybin is amazing in its own way, but does it have as rich of an intelligence and tapestry as Amanita has, for example? And then the different like shamanic traditions and so on. So you know who's been working with Amanita? He's been picking them fresh. Is Gilly Pong. So if you run into him, he pops in here sometimes, and if you know him, he actually has been like wild harvesting it because it grows where he lives, and then he's been like preparing it, and he's been because you do have to prepare Amanita as well. So I don't know if you're thinking with Amanita if you're aware of how to prepare it because
Yeah, you got to dry it out for 3 days, right?
yeah,
Isn't that true?
part of it is the drying, yeah, because the ibogenetic acid needs to be broken down. Yeah.
And then you
Yeah, I
gotta
think I
feed it
talked to
to
that guy on
reindeer,
here
and then you
before.
gotta drink the reindeer piss.
Nah, no, we'll let the reindeers do it their way. They can
Well, I
get
mean,
down.
I
They can
think
do
that's how
them.
they used to do it.
No, I'll go for the source. I don't need it to pass through the kidneys of a reindeer first.
I don't know. I heard that somewhere, man. I swear to God. You don't want to
Well, that's
die
the
from
negative
the
about Amanita is like if they're not kind of picked and dried and then processed correctly, that's the thing. They can cause like some symptoms that are pretty unpleasant, and that's where, ironically, like Amanita muscaria, for some reason, when you eat when a like a mammal, because it happens with like deer, like reindeer and stuff, like it comes through the urine like very potently. Like normally, if you maybe drink the urine, if someone has taken something else, you might get a little bit of it. But somehow with amanitas, like you get like a full dose, and apparently you can keep recycling it, which I know sounds nasty, but meaning you can drink like deer urine that like these reindeer eat the mushrooms, they trip out and then they kind of fall asleep, and then people go and collect the urine while they're sleeping, and then they get this like, but what they claim is that it's like it has none of the negative kind of effects that sometimes the mushrooms can have. They say it's like the cleanest. But anyways, and then you can urinate, and someone can drink your urine, and then they can urinate, and someone can drink their urine. I'm just
Dude,
saying it's
sounds
crazy.
like
Like it just that Amanitas for some reason like do
we
that.
gotta make a movie, Gio. We gotta
Trickle down economics.
I make a movie. Holy fuck.
And how did they figure this out?
Yeah, someone was like,
My
"Hey,
pee
that
is your
reindeer's
pee,
tripping
and your
balls."
pee is my pee.
tripping balls. Let's drink his piss, man. Oh, okay, that sounds cool, bro. Yeah, I can see that going down.
Crazy fuck.
Yeah,
Human
all right.
centipede fucking,
why not?
fuck me.
Oh shit, I'm really high, man. You high? I'm fucking high. Dude, we hit it. We found something.
So what
dude.
was the guy's name that does this shit here in Colorado? I think I talked to him before. What was his name? Gio?
Were you talking about Gilly Pong?
Yeah, is he a flatty?
Yeah, but he lives in I think he's like what, Siberia or
Oh no, yeah.
Norway. I'm trying to think where. Yeah, I'm
I
sorry.
talked to a dude on here from Colorado, and he was telling me about it before I moved here.
Okay. Damn. What? I don't remember.
He said it was legal or decriminalized or whatever. Like basically, you can do like guided tours, pass out some mushrooms, and like make money walking through the mountains.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to see what I bought today? Well, I mean, I got it delivered. Well, I bought it like a week ago, but I got it delivered. You guys are gonna trip balls. You want to see it?
Sure, why not, man?
Check it out.
Yeah, hold on. You guys are gonna because it's pretty fucked up because it's an astronaut, but
Dude, do you guys know where Gilly Pong's from? I feel dumb now that I said like, is he from like Norway? Is he from Iceland? Norway? I'm trying to think where. I said Siberia. It's not Siberia. That was just a random thing came to my mind. But if anyone knows offhand, but yeah, no, because he gets them like wild. That wherever he lives, I'm sorry, I don't really remember it offhand. I think it's either Norway or Iceland, even though I know those are quite different places. But I think it might be Norway's, or is he Icelandic? Anyways, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't remember. But yeah, they like grow wild, so he gets them. That's pretty awesome that he can actually get them in their wild environment.
You know, I'm gonna turn on my camera right now.
Dude, there's so many damn plants out there that are just amazing as fuck all, man. What a great place we live.
Oh, you guys see it?
I can see you. What do you got? Oh, it's
What
an
the fuck is
astronaut
that?
robot. What light?
Mm,
What the fuck is that?
well, it projects the fucking. Look at what projections on my.
Holy
On my
shit! It projects.
yeah, the nebula on my ceiling, bro. I
Yeah.
got this bitch today, bro. I was like, I gotta do something. I found this shit.
That's pretty sweet.
Oh, yeah, I like it.
I got a
Nice.
laser that does that shit in my backyard. Yeah. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I'm gonna get a laser light show too for like the DJing thing, cause yeah, I'm gonna start fucking around with my DJ set too soon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Astronaut fucking laser light.
I
Like-
know the
like-
astronaut. I couldn't believe it's an astronaut, but whatever. Fuck it.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty
Lights in
cool.
the
I
sky,
like
dude.
the thing.
Lights
I
in
like
the
the thing.
sky, baby.
We love our lights in the sky. Can't get
Gotta-
enough of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It looks so cool in my fucking room now, man. Fuck
Exactly.
yeah. Can get so high and fucking whatever. Look up in my ceiling. Fuck it.
Yeah. It's just lights in the sky, man. It's
Dude,
all
I was
good.
thinking, like, speaking of lights in the sky, like from the perspective of like the creator, like a source of creation that put all this into motion.
Yeah.
Like with the sky, it's like, all right, I'm gonna make this huge, massive earthly plane. It's gonna have level water and land and mountains and all this good stuff. And then what do I do for the sky? It's like, all right, I could just make it like one color, make it kind of bland, and then it's like, or okay, and then let's say it's going on like it's deciding on stars and
Right.
and a sun and a moon. It's going with stars and a sun and a moon type of deal. And then it's like, all right, well, do I want to just make these stars just like kind of on a flat ceiling and that's just it? Like just flat floor, flat ceiling, call it a day? Or do we want to make the sky into some like much more complex geometrical thing? Because that's really what it is. Like that's why their globe model has been able to be pulled off, is because of the spherical like nature of the sky. And I think it's more than just a hemisphere, like the idea of just a dome in terms of how everything's functioning, and then the even more so like the rotations of the stars and all that too. So it's like it definitely did something. It seems like the source of creation like did something extra there. Like it didn't just throw lights in the sky and call it a day, which is what's pretty fascinating about it.
Right. It just give you the opportunity to use them as reference points throughout the wherever you are.
Yeah.
The sun, the moon, stars, it's just the seasons. It's such a great little clock up there, man. And it's a reference point of where you're at on this great place we live. It's so cool.
Yeah, and at night it's not too bright or crazy because the stars are just have that gentle twinkle, and there's whereas the daytime's gonna have your big sun and then that moon reflection going around.
And then at night your eyes, dilate. You can see much, more interesting stuff.
The silver moonlight and the gold sunlight.
Versus, during the day, man, it's bright. You got to squint, But at night,
Isn't that crazy? Silver and gold are like these precious things, and it happens to be the sun and the moon. Silver and gold.
That's
what a trip.
Never heard anybody put that together quite like that. I like it. I like it a lot.
Like the two top precious metals in the world are also the top two luminary shades of light.
Yeah, I mean, and then the stars, man. The luminescence of the stars, when you zoom in, you get it, it's what the hell's going on, man? Come on. That shit ain't like trillions of miles away. Get out of here. It's like right there somewhere close.
I don't know, but these stars on my ceiling look fucking awesome, bro. I gotta say, I don't fucking.
I like your little setup, man. That's cool.
I know, man. Thank you, guys. It's just little things, just these little things in my life now just fucking amuse me. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of lights in my ceiling, and I'm like tripping balls. How good it's awesome, Fuck yeah. I got my laptop back, right? And I haven't touched it. I loaded up Ableton and all that shit, and it's like a sick ass laptop, and I haven't touched it yet. It's just sitting there, Should touch it.
Oh, I was gonna tell you, Vlad. While playing the game, my PC doesn't really go above like 70, 75. It was when I was stress testing it. That's when I got up to 82. So it's good.
Okay. But you're talking about the degrees Celsius, right? Good.
Yeah, like 70, 75.
Okay, there you go. That's fine. 70, 75 is fine. Well, if it was 80, so I'm like 80. Holy fuck. 85. Holy shit. What are you doing? You're cooking eggs?
What do you put a digital laser thermometer?
What part of your computer is getting hot?
Yeah.
Yes.
If it is a video game. Video.
Ooh, my guy. When you're playing competitive games, right? When you're playing against other fucking humans and not playing against fucking robots, it's a big difference, right? So playing games that are like single player games that are just garbage, and it's easy to beat robots. It's all scripted shit. It's not a game. That's where you fucking numb out your brain and it's nothing. But when you're playing against another human fucking being, you're literally going brain against brain. And that's when a lot of fucking idiot gamers, there's a lot of people give up on fucking video games, is because when they get challenged in these games, right? When these player-on-player action starts happening, a lot of people quit fucking games is because they get fucking smoked every fucking time they play these games, and that's why they get tired of being smoked, so they quit and they go play these dumb fucking single-player games because they suck and their brain power sucks. But see, there's a big difference there, buddy. So you can't just generalize. Oh, all games go not. Nah, that's not an excuse, buddy. I've been, like I said, I've been playing games all my fucking life, and where I'm at in my life, this is rough.
Fucking bazooka out. Holy shit.
To any simulator, you're learning how to use something like with a flight simulator, yeah. But simply it's conditioned hatred excused as simulating
I agree.
well-meaning actions. But what's well-meaning about going around and just obliterating stuff?
It's fun.
Hey, I used to play SimCity, bro.
Obviously it's fun when you need to cope,
growing my city.
to express your desires.
Well, you guys were talking over Kenny. What were you saying? You play? Oh, The Sims.
SimCity. My wife and her sister and myself got into SimCity, and we started building these great cities.
Which is that one? Do you think that one is useful or productive? Like, is that?
I don't know, man. It got to the point where it got ridiculous, man. I'm trying to keep up with the fucking city, man. The plumbing and the fucking, it was just ridiculous. And it started out really cute and fun, and it just became a burden to try to keep up with it, and like any game, man, you got to keep up with it. And it's distracting from reality. You have to deal with your car, water pump, or your tires, or whatever. It definitely is a distraction from the real things we should be focusing on in life. But where we live and how it works, man, is utmost importance to me versus some video game or some shit, man. Fuck that.
Oh, Vlad, I remember it was called Just Cause 1, 2, 3, 4. They're like those are the games. Have you heard of those?
Yeah, I've heard of Just Cause. Never really played.
Dude, I played one of them. That was like the last kind of crazy shoot 'em up game. It was pretty fun, dude. It's a good game. Like, I enjoyed it. It's got what's cool about it. It has a grapple hook, so you can like be in these GTA worlds and you just chill and you throw a grapple up on a building and boom, you zoom up to it. It's really cool. You can go anywhere. It's like Spider-Man thing, but it's like grapple hook style. I thought that game dynamic was actually really fun because, dude, like maybe in a dream, like a lucid dream, you might be able to fly or like grapple hook like that or something crazy, but you can never do that in real life. So like, just it is pretty. Like that's one interesting thing about these games. It's almost like simulating a lucid dream in a sense, or it can be.
Yeah. It deals with incompetency, and the game gives you an environment, a sandbox for you to do anything. And if you just sit perfectly still long enough, you can simulate your imagination into believing that you actually are conditioning skills.
Again, you're fucking wrong, my guy. Oh, wait.
Actually, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I am not.
You don't know who the fuck you're talking to, first of all?
You guys don't need to beef. You guys don't need to beef on. I mean, we can just have a conversation.
No. I'm just. He's thinking that I'm some kind of fucking nerd that plays video games that sits there all fucking day. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
I didn't say I believe that.
It's all good.
That's what you're saying, buddy.
Well, dude, there is
reading between.
There are some people
reading
that get really.
Yes,
there are people that get really engrossed in games. I mean, there are some that get really involved. I don't think he said that about you though.
Of course there are.
But dude, do you think there's any benefits to video games at all in your mind or in your thoughts or what?
Well, if you have a really vile OCD person in school who can't deal with their feelings and you need to protect the rest of the class,
give him video games.
Give him GTA.
This guy's fucking. Bro, this guy.
Ritalin.
He's gonna understand that GTA is just fun, straight up. Like, holy fuck.
I think it could be good in such a situation, but it's only because you don't know of a better way to deal with that kid.
All right, so you're saying that's the only benefit is just to distract a kid that otherwise would be hurting other kids and throw them in front of it?
Yes, you are protecting other kids by putting one kid or a few kids who really need to express their felt sense of being trapped in the school system, etc., by putting them behind a computer screen. But you see, you're not doing anything else than actually removing their ability to develop. You're keeping them at a standstill. And the longer they are allowed to be sitting behind, the longer they are conditioning themselves to grow up and become big boys, meaning big children. And not really children, because the child with the OCD is already having a difficulty just being a child, because many faculties with the child has been deranged or corrupted, which is why OCD is appearing in the child.
All right. Well, what about like so some of the games I mentioned, I know that like Vlad kind of maybe rolls his eyes maybe laughs at me for this because I know it is kind of looked at as not as like whatever it's like ridiculed more maybe, but like these like puzzle games that are like either like kind of adventure puzzle games, like that game Myst, like MYST, like that game that came out Myst, and then there's like a bunch of sequels to that. And I played some of those games over my life. Like I've never been a huge gamer, but I played some. And dude, I think those. I mean, I kind of said this before. I won't repeat it all, but I mean, I absolutely think because some of those puzzles are very complex. Like they took complex like geometry and pattern recognition. Some of the puzzles were a little bit remedial. Like you had to just kind of write down a code or do something a little basic. But some of them were pretty complex. Like you have to like line up lasers within a crystalline structure to open up a door or whatever it is, and it involves certain geometries and color spectrums and frequencies. So some pretty interesting dynamics there. That I mean, how much did that really help my life? I mean, it was entertaining, but I mean, I do think that can help sharpen the mind, at least to a degree.
You play Portal?
Oh yeah, I played Portal and Portal 2.
Yeah, that's like a great like harmless, puzzle. There's another one called and dude, this one went way under the radar. Way under the radar. I think it's called Anti-Chamber.
Heard of it? Yeah, but I haven't played it. Yeah, I've heard of it though.
Bro, go back and play Anti-Chamber.
They use like physics. They use like trippy like physics concepts in some of these games.
It's the kind of shit where like you walk into a room and then you turn around and the door takes you to somewhere else. Like the door you came in from takes you somewhere else, and you're like, oh no, where am I? But there's like you have to align everything. It's like a big puzzle, huge puzzle.
Yeah, they call it like I'm just looked at a mind-bending psychological exploration game. It's that guy Escher, MC Escher, says Escher like world with where hallways wrap around on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Dude, I thought Portal was awesome, dude. You have like a gun that you can shoot a portal into. Like you shoot into a wall and then you shoot another place. You shoot two things and you walk into the one and you come out the other. That is such a cool gameplay dynamic. Like the physics you can do. You can be like falling towards the floor, shoot the floor with a portal opening, and by the time you hit the floor, you shoot through the other portal. You shoot out, you go through that portal and come out another part wherever your other portal was. That's so cool.
And then you just fall indefinitely.
Yeah.
Like forever.
Yeah, you can do some really cool maneuvers in that game. That's why they were so popular. I wish there were more like that. We need Portal 3.
Hey, Hank, is that your enhanced edition? GTA 5?
I don't think so. I've had this for a long time.
There's also a Portal RTX, Riggs. Have you seen that? Like, I guess it's for RTX cards.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
I
have a... Okay, well, maybe I need to check that out. I should have Portal here somewhere.
Well, people say like the Portal RTX one. People say that like it's one of the like it'll apparently max out like the highest level cards possible. Like apparently, it's like the graphics are like extremely able to be tweaked to be like really work an RTX card. Apparently, so that's kind of interesting.
Well, I have a 5080. I'm sorry, a 4080. So.
Oh, nice.
Oh wow, you guys are rocking some nice cards there. Hey, look at you guys. I'm still me on my 2070. Means a little fucking 2070 here.
Dude, I had a 2080 Super for like 5 years, and the shit died like 2 weeks ago. And I grabbed this 4080. I'm like chilling.
Super. Dude, I skipped from I had a 1060 or something, and then I switched from that all the way up to a 4. I didn't even have anything between. You guys were in the 2 somewhere in there.
Yeah, this thing is overkill. This might even be like my last card ever. So
4080 is pretty good. Like when I got mine, the 4080 was the best, and I got the 4070. But I think there's a 90 now, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a 5090. It's $3,000.
Yeah. I know the 2070 is still good for me, man. With the new AI updates.
Oh yeah, the AI stuff's pretty dope. Hey,
it just feels crazy good. Yeah.
You need to bro, you need to download. There's this app called Lossless Scaling. It's $6, and it does the frame generation thing. So like you just put in the target frames you want. Dude, if you're getting 60, you're seeing 240 or whatever.
It's already done that. It's already implemented in some games, like my fucking.
Yeah, but that's some games. I'm saying this is in every game, and it's like often better. So.
No, it's all good, man. No, listen. GTA 5 Enhanced Edition, right? They put all the AI shit into it, and I'm running my 2070 RTX on it right now. I maxed out all the fucking graphics. The ray tracing is on, and bro, this game has never looked fucking beautiful. Like, look at the water reflections off the fucking, like, it's insane. Right. And that's why I had to replay for the 3rd fucking time, and it was like an experience, like brand new experience. I swear to God, it was just so good. And I did everything to the point where I got like millions of dollars, like legitimately too. Like I had like half a billion on all my characters, and I bought everything. Like it took me like 5 years.
I haven't played GTA since San Andreas, bro.
Oh well, fuck. Let me tell you, GTA 5 is like
you're making me think like maybe if I play GTA 5 with this card, I might have a good time.
No, you're gonna enjoy it.
I'd just like to give a shout out to Discord because the entire years we've used them, we pretty much never talk about video gaming, which isn't originally Discord was made for gaming. So we've just finally entered into discussing video games for the first time.
They did like an overhaul on the Discord UI today.
Oh, I know, dude. You know, I can't believe it. They finally put a little pull-down menu on PC, at least, next to people's names, like where your mute is. And I was like, oh, did they finally make it that you can just click there to get everything? And you still can't get to like all the moderation stuff or any of it. It's like, dude, close but no cigar. What is up with Discord? They just can't get it right. It's funny. But they did at least access. I've always said, dude, you should be able just to access everything right on the. You shouldn't have to like go through all the menus and stuff. Anyways, yeah, to do everything. But yeah, but you see how they added that now? That it's like a little pull-down, three dots next to your name now.
Oh yeah, that's been there for a few days for me.
Yeah. Hey, Larry, are you there?
What's up?
If you don't know whether you got enhanced edition or not, all you gotta do is go into your Rockstar account and because I think it's free as long as you have your Rockstar account and your GTA 5 is on the account, you can get the enhanced edition for free, my guy. And I recommend you get the enhanced edition because, bro, let me tell you, like I'm watching your stream, I know it's not enhanced because it does not look as good as mine, and I'm running a 2070 RTX, bro. And bro, I'm telling you, the enhanced edition is like way sicker, bro. Like, and you can transfer all your characters and everything, your online shit, onto the new enhanced edition, so it's all convertible if you wanted to. But I recommend you start the game over because I guarantee you that you beat the game, but you don't have like $500 million on all your characters.
Why isn't there a game yet? Why isn't there a game yet that maps the entire Earth? That like you could go to any place on Earth like GTA, but it'd be actual Earth.
That's gonna be a lot of memory, man.
It's gonna be a big download.
It's gonna be a lot of memory, my guy.
Dude, that'd be crazy if you could go anywhere on Earth and like run around and it was like a simulated world where everything was functioning.
Well, unless it auto generates. I mean, it's like if you got a whole bunch of like if you have a database, right, of shit, but then it auto pops and auto generates for you, then yeah, you could probably do it, I guess. I mean, that's how they did like No Man's Sky, right?
When you have to do it, you have to do it in sections. You just have to do it in sections.
It's not really sections, it auto generates. Like as soon as you're like moving, right, whatever pops in, whatever starts popping in from the fog of war gets auto generated by something.
Procedural generation.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Procedurally generated, I think they call it. Yeah, no, that's trippy. That's like where it actually makes like new world as you're going. Like it's rendering new world. But there are games that like I guess some of these, you know, where like, they take place in like San Francisco or whatever, where it is fairly accurate to the layout of San Francisco. So they've done like cities at least to a degree, but it'd just be crazy if there was like a whole Earth that you could go to or anywhere on Earth. And if it was all like it'd just be crazy if you go to just downtown London, you know, just like you are now, but it would be the actual layout of what London actually is.
But you guys understand this enhanced edition, like it's so goddamn good. Like I played a lot of games in my life, right? Like a lot of games in my life. And GTA 5, like ever since it came out, it was a fun game, whatever. But this enhanced edition, and I guess because I have not played GTA 5 for a very, very long time, like didn't even go into the game. Just bro, I had.
It does look. I mean, I'm looking at your thing. It does look quite a bit better than anything I've seen. But I haven't really seen the new ones too much lately. The new.
Well, and the rain, like just how the rain is dropping off of the road, and you see how the rain puddles are reflecting, like the car in front of me and shit. Like as I'm moving too, like you see how there's like reflections on the like, bro, this shit is just the details.
Dude, why can't we simulate refraction in a game?
Well, bro, that's what I'm saying. This whole, what do you think the ray tracing is? It's emulating real light.
Dude, they did.
Literally the scattering, the fucking bouncing, the everything, bro. That's what they do. That's what ray tracing is.
I understand.
They did simulate refraction in the game.
Like actual like refraction that did what the Glober say.
Well, the angle change of the light, so the light is traveling straight, but it bends with the angle change of it, but it still continues going.
It's the shorter one, but they're using the longer range plane in the south and the shorter range planes in the north. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder if that's consistent.
And that 787-9, the one that has the 15,000 range, apparently has a faster top speed. I think he said it's like 650. And then if you add like, you know, some wind in there, you know, another 150 there, and then well, he was saying, what was he was saying was it would get up to 1,000. So he was saying maybe the 650 plus 350. He had I forget if he had 350 all for winds. But yeah, so he was saying it could go upwards of that 1,000 miles an hour because it has a faster top speed than the 777-300ER, the one in the north.
Well,
which makes sense.
I heard somewhere
longer range, higher top speed as well.
I heard somewhere that and I forget where the argument came from, and I don't think it was entirely debunked. But the idea is that like planes aren't going as fast as they say they are, or something like that. Like basically the idea that like destinations are actually somewhat closer than we think. So there's a lot more headroom for them to make up time because the like the locations are closer.
And then they're going slower? Would that mean they're flying slower?
Basically, the speeds that we think they're going aren't being registered correctly. So there was this idea that, okay, well, if the speeds are correct, maybe the destinations are closer. Or shit, man, I forget exactly how it goes down. But they were saying that the planes, they measured the planes based on the reported speed and the actual speed, and they weren't going as fast as they claimed. So if that's the case, then perhaps there's some kind of variable reporting, or locations are actually closer, like the Earth is actually much more confined, and they're just making you think it's bigger and more spaced out, kind of thing. Or it's just bad reporting. I don't know. Maybe these guys just made it up, but they were testing basically like the visual, like what the plane was claimed to be going, and then measuring the actual distance it had traveled, and then deduced that there was like a large percentage off from the actual speed that they were supposed to be operating at. Slower. At least in this case, it was slower. Bro, are you playing with a controller? Or are you playing with like your mouse, keyboard, and stuff?
Mouse and keyboard. Why? That's the only way to play is mouse and keyboard, bro. That's the only way you can play this game is mouse and keyboard. Well, unless you play auto aim and shit. I mean, aim assist. Why? You're like, I'm making all these crazy headshots while I'm driving, right?
I have no idea, bro. I haven't played GTA since the year 2000.
Aren't there some insane like tournament first-person shooter guys that use controllers now? I've heard.
Yeah, it's all auto aim though. It's all auto aim though, man.
But it's not like a like PS4 controller. It's like a custom thing that has like different buttons and shit on it. I don't know. I've seen they have some crazy.
Yeah, scuff pad they call it. It's just a regular controller, but it's like a nice one. Yeah,
but
but
like macros. It's like macros. So instead of like directional with your thumb, it's like buttons that are macros.
I don't know about that.
I thought that's what.
But the skills are real. But every controller game has auto aim. Period. So.
Yeah, it's aim assist. Every controller game, yes, aim assist, 100%. Call of Duty Warzone, aim assisted motherfuckers. Even if you're on PC, as long as you plug in the controller it registers a controller and aim assist fucking control. And that's where the hack comes in sometimes. People can put aim assist on mouse and keyboards due to that fucking single thing. They kind of reroute the aim assist to the mouse.
So, dude, could you create a video game that's incredibly realistic with the highest level of simulation of physics and all of it? Like what Vlad's playing right now does look pretty. I mean, the reflections, the water. Could you try to make a game environment that you could simulate a long distance observation and the refractive effects possibly that all would be layered in the atmosphere? And then could you try to simulate like an actual curved Earth with those effects and see if you actually get these effects that these Globers claim, or whether you have to make the Earth planar in order to get what we actually see in the real world? Could that be simulated in the game in some way that could actually be useful?
Yeah, dude, that's the video I just posted, and yeah, they could do it even better than that now. But it's in that video I posted, like legit.
All right, I'll check it. That's pretty interesting.
But it's a baseless assertion that it's happening in real life the way that they say that it's happening. Bending down into a denser medium. If you're 1 foot off the surface of the water, what denser medium are you bending down into before it hits the water?
That's a quick dive right into the water.
Dude, they try to say the dumbest shit ever. They say light from the top of a building is going to, like light reflects radially. It spreads out radially. So light from the top of a building is going to bounce up and around and then go down and loom up, and you can see it in your shit.
Fuck.
I'm sorry, but that is the stupidest shit I ever heard. Well, how come I'm not seeing the top of the building then, buddy? Why is that not the case? Why would it be that something that I'm facing at head on, why would light be reflecting from the top part of that and then going around a surface above me from a higher angle, mind you? So ridiculous. So fucking ridiculous. And somebody like Jesse will say it as if it's fact. Oh, and I have the evidence. Like, bro, no, you don't. No, you do not.
Bro, did you see Jesse went on Jaren's show?
No, I didn't. Dude, I've been so checked out from watching shows. I don't even know what to watch anymore.
Well, I mean, dude, Jesse went on there. It was the lowest number of viewers I have seen on Jaren's channel in months. Dude, there was 160 people tops. Like, that was it. Just 160. Jaren's been getting 400 or 500 these days live. 160 people. And even the view only got like 1,000 views, even though it just came out today. Versus other views get like 10,000. But, dude, it was like, think of whatever. I didn't even see the one that Jaren did with Red Rhetoric, but just imagine, dude. Like,
depending on your choices, you'll have different
details. Team and
it doesn't even sound right.
And Liz.
Obviously, he's just trying to reinvent himself right now.
Posted, and I just didn't know if it was publicly known, like who posted it, but it's all good. That so I didn't hype it up, go against flat Earth, make it like borderline entirely, like that.
And have the way fuck you. Everything that would be happening could just be organic, and all the attacking him.
What's going on with it? Either way,
no, dude, no. That's like argument. This is what I found. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. Now it just sounds like he's
all flat.
Yeah, dude, this is like heavy on my mind. That this whole Jaren thing is like it's way too calculated, and it's not even believable. It's like the way that he's speaking, the way that it's like. See, Globers can hear these words come out of his mouth, and to them it's like poetic justice. Like they couldn't get any more. Like they're just getting hard-ons left and right over it, right? But like us knowing the guy for 10 years, the way that it rolls off of his tongue, it's not even believable. The guy, like the Globers may not notice, but it doesn't even make sense the way he's saying things, like just how you pointed out. But it's a bunch of that, It just doesn't. Wouldn't this be funny? Wouldn't this be funny? And I know this isn't the case, but what if he just come out one day and he said, "Yeah, I was just kidding," or something like that? I don't think that's gonna happen. I clearly think something else happening. But
dude, honestly though, if that did happen, that would actually I would it would actually make more sense. It'd be like, okay, he just did like a troll. He just did a troll, like an experiment to see what he could get all the. That actually be pretty. I just want to be on the winning
team for a little bit,
Dude, if that was the case, that would actually be somewhat clever. Like he was the guy who went to Antarctica. He's right in that position to do like a crazy social experiment. Like let's just say, like from the idea that he's just a regular dude, like he's not an agent or compromised, and then he just decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna just kind of do this whole flip thing. I'm going to try to do as much rhetoric as I can. It'd be like a social experiment to see what the Globers do. Because then, like, let's say he did that and then he went back to flat. All the Globers would have gone from, like, thinking Jaren was a horrible, lying, whatever, deluded, whatever. And then once he flipped to gold, they're like, Jaren's a champion of truth, And then if he went back or whatever, if he was like, dude, I was fooling you guys, that would actually be kind of an interesting little, like, sociological experiment in a way.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening, but that would make more sense. You're right. That would be like, because we know that you and I both know his like his rhetoric and responses and behavior. It doesn't make sense. The way he knows, like he doesn't even believe the things he's saying. He's just saying the words.
Well, I don't know if I pick up that entirely though, because when I listen, like, I know what you're saying. I'm trying to listen. Like, is he just completely acting or faking? Like, I can tell, I think, pretty well. I'm not saying he completely isn't though, but I mean,
dude, if you're just nonchalantly saying, "Oh, these guys are all liars," I believe liars. Does that sound believable? Just like using blanket, like what's the word for it? Just too big. Just like obtuse statements, blanket statements. It's not. It's like if you're thinking about what's the worst thing I can say right now, you use some kind of general statements and that's how it comes out. That means it's not authentic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Yeah. It's very kind of bland and generalized. It's all just like, it's a lot of rhetoric and kind of repeated insults about the community or liars or it's a lot.
If you watch a show, that's how he's speaking the whole show. He's just kind of like mumbling or like just bitching basically like the whole time.
He's bickering. He's bickering with himself for hours is what he's doing. He's just bickering with himself. He's like fighting with his own like all these guys and I believe them and all the liars out there. You see when you believe liars like I did, you go along your life, and you get duped by liars. And it's just and then it's like they're all liars. Every single one of them. I believe them all. And it's just like what is this like?
Yep, and that's why I couldn't watch it anymore. Not because like it makes any sense to me. It's like not good entertainment. Now to the Glober, dude, they're like licking their lips, right? Like that's what they've been waiting for their whole, like that's just the cherry on top for them. He could be, okay, let's assume he's not some super sleeper agent, whatever the fuck I'm talking about. Like, okay, what if he's just some guy who's like actually kind of lost his mind? The Globers would love that. They just, they're like, yep, this flat earther totally gave in. And now we're just going to, grab our popcorn and watch. No, so anything he says is just golden to them.
If we look at I'm just thinking of personality types and like the media presenter is that classic personality type. I think it takes a special type of person to be able to even just look into the camera and to be able to talk into a camera as if you're talking to someone. It's like a form of like trickery in and of itself. You have to trick yourself to do that. And this is what these guys do day in, day out. They read from that teleprompter. Not that Jaren's got a teleprompter necessarily, but he just seems to be able to go on these like diatribes. And like for him to be just sort of reciting and have quickly changed so much, like it seems to me like he wants to appeal. So there's sort of like a need for
approval,
vindication, or approval.
Yeah, that's kind of forced. It seems like forced and pushed in a way, because like if somebody really changes something like that, like he's been in this, let's say for 10 years, and then if I get he saw the sun there and whatever, but it just doesn't seem organic. Like it seems like if somebody really was going to change, there would probably be like a series of going through multiple different things and then going through, it seems like it would be more like weeks or months of going through like other evidences or actually having something more than just kind of like rhetoric and division, because a lot of it is rhetoric and division, and then it's just reinforcing like very simple globe arguments, but he already had like knowledge of much more complex arguments for stationary planar Earth. I'm just saying it just seems like it just seems like it's being it's like he's trying to, it's like a thing, like, oh, Jaren flipped. That's the thing now. And then why did he flip? Because he's angry at this person and that person and all this drama. And now he doesn't like David Weiss and all these people disagree and people call him a shill. Like that's a lot of what his rhetoric is. Instead of, it just seems to me like if it was like a genuine flipping, which I don't know if there are any genuine flippings, but if there were, it just seems like he would have like a solid set of logic and an unfolding that would have correlated with his previous logic, in which he would have unwound the things that were wrong in the past properly and actually put them in order, instead of just being like, I saw the sun, I'm throwing everything out and using all this rhetoric to bash the community and kind of create a scene.
That's a good summer.
Well, I mean, it does make for good media, right? Like he's constantly sort of throwing out these, if not direct, minor insults at, flat earth this, flat earth that and stuff. I'm kind of curious. I never really watched him before. Was he doing that sort of stuff, like this insulting sort of thing towards Globers when he was on the other side, like prior to TFE?
No, not really.
So it is like coming from a resentment point of view then?
I mean, yes and no, but see, he had kind of like softened up his behavior over the years because he started his debate show, so it required him to just kind of sit there and take it. You know what I mean?
How is he with debating? Like,
he wasn't debating, and he doesn't debate, but he was hosting the show, Debatism. So.
Yeah, I would say, like, if I had to give my general thought of it, like at the beginning, he was pretty civil and upbeat, and he'd come on Globebusters with a positive attitude and bring interesting things and all that. So that's kind of how he started. Then he started doing like more like shows with other people. He did that. He called it the Baby Truther Show for a couple years with Dave Weiss and a couple other people. He did that, and that was all like pretty civil. It didn't really get. And then it seems like he went through a phase after that where it was a lot of just him ranting, and then it started getting more toxic. Like in the last few years, maybe like since COVID started, I want to say, or something. If I had to give a general thing, to where now he does these streams where he just does the kind of ranting, and he has been doing this for a while. Like if you even look at videos from like 6 months ago, he's talking about like flat earthers are going to run about the 24-hour sun or whatever. He already kind of was doing. He started to kind of turn on flat earth a little bit even in the last few months, I think, and then he has done a good amount of that with Globers. Yeah, I mean, he's had full-on beefs, where he's just insulting Fight the Flat Earth for just an hour and a half on his stream, just raging and swearing and reading screenshots and stuff. So yeah, he's done a good amount of that, beefing with other Globers and stuff. But he never really did that, I guess, against Flat Earthers until, I guess, like maybe leading up to this final experiment. Well, it's almost like he did that interview with Duffy, with Witsit. The first time we ever heard of Duffy was on Jaren's channel. And then it seems like ever since then, Jaren has had this like bee in his bonnet against Flat Earth, where he was kind of ramping it up, starting to, cause division basically. And then they took the trip, and then the division, process was even more thoroughly, the dagger was more thoroughly put in. And then just the very last thing, and then those debate shows, yeah, he was just very kind of like civil and quiet, so you kind of that thing going too. But,
so you bring up a good point real quick. I just wanted to hammer down that many of the key components that were necessary into ushering in this strategic operation, is what I would call it, came through his show. Legitimately came through his show. Alex Stein came through his show, which he's been used as like a flying monkey type person. Let's see the 10-hour video. Hold on.
Flying monkey?
Flying monkey is like the Wicked Witch of the East. She the witch sends her for flying monkeys. Look like legitimate. Basically, if there was a faction that was not on our team, then they would have their assets that they would put out there to kind of help move the narrative along in one way or another. Okay, so I'm just saying, through his show, many different narratives have helped usher this thing along. One of them being like the video from Antarctica, the cam footage showing like 10 hours missing. When he was trying to verify, and then he sent the email, and they responded, and then he tried to get another email, and then he's also tried to retrieve footage from NASA, where he was trying to. Then they asked for what, like $300 in hard drive, and other kind of stuff like that. There's many things like this throughout his.
It's a little Bart Sabel 2.0.
It just seems like the way that they've used him was to introduce aspects of like if there was a script, because whenever you think about the coffee cup caustic, right, you go back to Jaronism's show when he introduced it, right. Whenever you think about Will Duffy, some people would go back to the first time they saw Will Duffy, right? What was the first time they saw Alex Stein? Or when did when he moved away from Flat Earth just slightly, when Flat Earth was getting kind of slow, what did they do? They used his platform to kind of like give him this like ridiculous like 420 stoner look, and then for some reason he's got he's got people on his show that are ex actors and were on dating shows in like the early 2000s. Okay, if I stopped coming on Discord one day and I just started a stream, you wouldn't expect that actors from TV shows would just come on my stream from like 2010.
No, I hear you. There was that girl, Kelsey. There was that. She was, I guess, but she was like Rose 777's like best friend or something growing up, like IRL best friend. They were saying, and that was the thing. And then she was like on like a dating, like MTV dating show or something, right? Like,
I'm not saying Rose is free and clear either, but that's another discussion. Dude, I'm just saying like many aspects. Wait,
before we move on from her, did she someone said she flipped or something? Or
someone said she flipped. Who knows? I haven't seen
anything.
Yeah. Many aspects of Jaren and what he's brought forward. Like there's many things that Bob has brought forward, that Witsit brought forward. Many different people in the community brought forward. But it appears that the only really relevant points that Jaren has brought forward and gets brought up again have to do with this final experiment, like almost as if it was a key point in the final experiment. Like if it were to be revealed later, they could refer back to Jaren's previous material, right? Jaren's like, there's no way the coffee cup caustic could make the sun do that observation, which is a straw man about the motion of the sky, the motion of the celestial bodies. Like that it's literally brought forth as like a straw man of what the sky would be doing. And then we bait the community into thinking there's no sun in the south because the sun is just mysteriously missing from the very catered footage that he brought forward, when obviously there's been other footage in the south, but the footage that he put on his episode, right, that was missing the several hours, is what gets referenced as if that's it. This is the only footage we have. And so then many people are going off thinking, hey, look, there's no sun in the south. It's almost as if the stuff he contributed was prepping his audience for a very catered, specific argument in order to debunk it. Right? Do you think maybe?
Yeah, I could certainly I think their perfect agent would be someone that doesn't even know it, man. They selected someone out of the pile of people, raised them up to the top of the algorithm just for that niche subject, and then sort of just start, getting guys in contact with him and then seeding these people into the topic of discussion. I can totally see that happening. And he thinks I'm doing a great job. I'm bringing all these people in. I'm building the conversation, the dynamics of it. But all of the dynamics are it's all social, which is it's an important part of the entire topic, but there's nothing practical about it. I suppose I expect people to specialize that like that, but I also expect them to pick someone in order to do that like that. So I guess we're really that way.
Well, I mean, it is a big leap. But I mean, for as much as I've seen, I don't think it's far-fetched anymore. I've always had my suspicions, but at this point, it would make sense that, it could be totally the case that 90+% of the arguments and information that he shared and contributed, and we've gone over many times, all of that is totally true. And he probably even thought 100% of it was true along his path. But the fact that he brought forth some very key arguments and was known for those arguments that dealt specifically as if the audience was being groomed to think a certain way about the South in preparation for this trip, I think that's kind of interesting. I think
I hear you, but it would be like, is he in on it or is he being duped? Like the two sides of it. So like if he's in on it, yeah, that would be a whole nefarious thing. Because there's this idea that they linked the AE map with the No 24 Sun and then had it right there on the internet ready for people to kind of, the backup net from the globe, if people are going to start, thinking about Flat Earth. So from that perspective, that's a thing, then that would be like maybe even on some higher levels of controllers that they've actually, that was like either planted in there, either planted purposely, knowing it was false, and then like we said, that whole theory of limiting our access to Antarctica for the 70s, 80s, 90s, until finally, the way that this all came together. And then that would imply that there's a lot more in on it, like that maybe the controllers, maybe even something at that point it would imply that Duffy, perhaps. So anyways, that gets into all of that layer of it. And then that could imply that other people like YouTubers like Darren and others who are either talking about it would then be, like you said, like if it's like a mastermind conspiracy kind of thing, or like on that level. I'm not saying that in a disparaging way. I'm just saying it would almost like it's just in that way, like a mastermind conspiracy of all these minds coming together to do that big of a deception. But it potentially also could be explained though, just from the perspective that Jaren was sold the No 24 Hour Sun story, and then which we all were in a way, like that was something that we were all presented with, and he just had, so like there are deceivers that were planting it, but he just got duped by it in a way that he just bought it and sold it and told everyone it was, and then realized he was wrong. So I'm just saying there's the perspective that like there are controllers that are doing the larger plan. Maybe Duffy could be the role of that. Then there's still the idea that Jaren could just be a dude who got kind of duped by it and then was promoting it, repeating it out of his own confliction or his own confusion around it, and then trying to make a big channel, be like, or make content like, hey, look, there's still No 24 Hour Sun. What's going on with this? I'm just saying there's an explanation that could be. I'm just trying to give, I guess, the other side. Like, could he be?
Yeah.
At least, yeah.
Why do you think he wants to be a communicator so much? Like, what is this personality type that's sort of drawn to these positions of influencing and so-called informing people, right? I think that there is this, I mean, these are these influencer type. I don't seem like, I mean, dude, I want to be appreciated. I don't know if I necessarily want to be in the spotlight like that. I don't think it's part of my personality type. So it just sort of leads me to think, what possesses you guys?
Good question, man. Good question.
Hey, have you heard of the Breakfast Club theory? Rick, are you familiar with that?
No, man.
You know the movie The Breakfast Club?
No, not really. I can't remember it. I can't remember the plot line anyway.
Oh, good. It's like a movie about like detention in the 80s or whatever in high school. But it's about like, so it's like a bunch of people that normally don't hang out with each other all wind up in detention. Right? That's the plot of the movie. But it's like, so it's like one person from each kind of swath of society. Do you know what I mean? So you got like a rebel kid, this type of girl. It covers like all the bases of like, whatever. And then so it's like the theory was, and I'll never forget, there was this kid, I felt it was like something Potts back in the day, if anyone remembers. This guy Jesse. And I watched a video on it. I remember I commenting, and he's like, "You stupid flat earther," and but it's like the idea that each member of that movie, right, represents a certain swath of society that identifies with that particular character in the movie. And then that character justifies all of their positions in life and whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like the Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club theory is like this like divide and rule kind of a thing. I mean, it's, what came first, right? Chicken or the egg? But the idea that you would get people intrigued. This is how we looked at the YouTube thing was, and like the idea that each group would try to align itself with the person that most suited their views. And then what happens inevitably is that those groups then all go to war. So then you know what I mean? You stick with this group and they stick, they've got everyone locked into a position and a person that exemplifies that position. And then it's like, and then they manipulate people from there. And that's the Breakfast Club theory.
Yeah, you got the nerd, the jock, the hot chick. Yeah, exactly. You got these different like archetypes, and yeah, that's definitely.
Well, that's where, dude, Snacks, I think, lost his mind with this shit. It's like, because them dudes fucking turned me on to this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Where they were like, yo, you don't fucking... Because I came in like, yeah, let's tell everybody about the earth is flat. Innocent as hell. And then, you come in and you get fucking wrecked and realize, like, oh, this is way more fucking complicated. And, yeah, the Breakfast Club theory, man. And that's why my whole thing has always been death to the gurus, man. Kill every guru in the world.
Including Trump?
Well, right, but dude, that's the thing is that it's not my guru. Dude. Oh,
I'm just playing. I know.
No, I get it. But actually, it just struck a nerve because, dude, the whole discharge thing's gonna be done using Bitcoin, dude. I didn't even realize it.
Really?
Dude, because they're gonna inflate the value of it and fucking lump the debt in it. They're gonna cover debt by fucking exploding Bitcoin, dude. The discharge is them fucking making fucking Bitcoin valuable. It's fucking, I just had my mind blown the other day. This one dude fucking put it out there. I was like, holy shit.
But you think it'll be big, like Bitcoin, like the actual Bitcoin blockchain? Or are you talking about just like some of these other central bank digital?
No. It's gonna be them. The XRP and those things are gonna be the rails of the digital commerce. Bitcoin is gonna be the fucking relief of the debt. It's gonna be the discharge, man. I couldn't believe it when I don't know why. Because like they can inflate it to cover all the debt. and then sell the Bitcoin and the debt's paid for the national debt and the fucking. It's so fucking great, dude.
Oh, I kind of see what you're saying. Okay, so like I'm just trying to understand kind of what you're saying with it. Yeah, so they would. Okay, that was interesting.
So you got
The
to
way you,
check it out.
the
Check
way
it
you
out. You
said
got the
that,
national debt.
it clicked in my mind. At least what you're saying. I'm trying to just yeah.
Yeah, like think of it. Think of it. If we fucking purchase or we take the Bitcoin that we've taken from other whatever, however we got the fucking Bitcoin, when in our possession, if it gains value, that can be used to offset national debt, bro. Which fucking then in line with the tariffs and the External Revenue Service, it's the fucking discharge, brother. It's like, it's the discharge of it's fucking amazing, dude. And then fucking the idea that Bitcoin was created by DARPA. Fucking genius, dude.
Well, there have been these claims that the government's been buying a lot of Bitcoin and this and that. There are all these different.
Nah, they're not buying it. I don't think. Well, actually, I've heard. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I've heard about that, like treasury bonds and all kinds. There's something going on. I don't know the exact ins and out, but
That's kind of crazy though. You're saying they're trying to like this is just I'm not like I'm just trying to almost steel man or trying to understand what you're saying. I'm not trying to assert this, but are you saying the idea that like they're in a sense trying to build up this kind of fake currency, you could say, not fake, but it's like this digital thing of Bitcoin, hype it up, build it up, get the other countries even buying into it and get them all, and then like bubble the price, and then you're saying do some kind of debt settlement with it, and then pull the rug after or something.
Not even necessarily have to pull the rug. You don't even have to pull the rug because but. So do you know that like the Department of Homeland Security has met with the alleged 4 Satoshis? You know that?
You mean Satoshi Nakamoto?
Yeah. The fucking our government has interviewed the alleged 4 Satoshis. Yeah, they know who they are.
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
oh yeah, I'll tell you
who it is. I don't. Yeah, there's all the kinds.
Yeah,
of
we know. Yeah, it's DARPA, dude.
It's DARPA. It's DARPA. That'd be a good meme. We know. It's DARPA.
Yeah, you know what's funny was I was in here and I was arguing with somebody. We were talking about whatever, and he's like, "No, it's not DARPA. It's ARPANET." And it's like, then you look into it, ARPANET created fucking DARPA. It's like they were talking about the internet at the time. I love learning shit, but anyway, yeah, man. Like the discharge of the debt has been my guiding. It's like my compass for why I think any of the shit that I do is the discharge of the national debt, and the Bitcoin shit is like, it makes so much sense. It's fucking so interesting, dude. I'm like fascinated because the discharge of the debt is what I'm all about. Is trying to figure out how they're going to do that, and I think this is going to be the remedy. It's so interesting, and the Bitcoin strategic reserve, like it's just that's fucking man. The golden age is here, boys and girls. April 2nd, Trump called Liberation Day. It's gonna be fucking. SE is gonna lose his mind.
The Liberation Day. We need a new holiday. That's what we need.
Yeah, yeah.
April 2nd. Dude, well, what that made me think though of okay, so could that then play into a financial reset event though? Because the whole digital currency, there's it's just this whole other world. Like we have this inflated currency of the fiat dollar and all that, the US dollar and everything else. That's all inflated off the charts, and it seems like that's just they're like backing themselves into a hole. So there's the idea that like one of these digital currencies thing could kind of be like the pressure relief valve in a way where they could like somehow flip the value, to where it's going to this like kind of less valuable, like more flimsy digital thing, which, whether there'll be more units, more dollars out there or something, it might be like diluted in some way. But I'm just saying, could all that play into like, and then the whole debt thing and some of these, the claims of these countries and their different financial parts, but could that be linked to like some larger like world financial reset event in which the digital currency transfer happens along with some of these other factors?
There's never going to be a day where everyone's going to be like, oh, wow, the great reset happened. It already happened, man. It's like, the digital currency is just another hallway that leads down to a room in the Wizard of Oz. You know what I mean? It's still a fiat, like, imaginary. It's all imaginary anyway. It's all our agreement to it. And it's all, and even crazier, it's all created off of your birth certificate. So, and then so it's like, it doesn't matter that it's fictional because you're the only one that has the right to discharge the debt. And the United States is actually just trying to do the accounting for you, me, and every other motherfucker that gave over a birth certificate. They're just trying to be honorable accountants.
That's part of the scam, to just blindly accept that it's already integrated, and that's how they integrate it.
So in the future, is our birth certificate going to be an address on a blockchain?
Probably. I mean, it could be. It could. Well, I mean, you're still gonna. How about this? How about this? You're still gonna have to give it to them.
But that's part of the conditioning, to imagine or go beyond imagination and blindly accept that the illusion is already taking place. So then you predictively program yourself to accept that it already is existing and that you can no longer work against it.
I mean, you could say that about, toilet paper. But, the fucking point is like, I just think that the discharge of the debt is what's like, there has to be, like you said, the pressure relief valve, I don't know if we're like, I'm not going to get into the philosophical meanderings of what is money and how does it fucking shape our limited fucking point of view or anything. I'm just saying, like, this is going to be the technicals of how they fucking discharge this debt, and it's fucking genius. And I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking at the tea leaves, and it's fucking interesting,
Did you just gaslight intellectual discourse by
Yes,
calling it
yes, yes.
philosophical meandering?
Yeah, I'm glad you picked up on it.
Of course, I pick up on most.
Good. Yeah, no, I just because I'm not trying to necessarily get into the conditioning that it takes in order to think that gold is valuable. I'm just saying it already is what it is, and I'm just looking at it for what it is,
Dude, just speaking of gold real quick, I mentioned this earlier. How much of a trip is it that gold and silver are like the two highest value precious metals pretty much on Earth, and we wear them for jewelry and all that, and then the sun and the moon are gold and silver, the sun and the moon themselves. It's
And what's cool too is that the gold and the silver used to be in the lakes or in the rivers rather, and it used to purify our water.
I mean, does the sun
silver.
make gold? Does the sun make gold in the earth? Does the moon make silver in the earth? Is there like a deeper connection to that? But that's interesting.
I don't know about that. I just think gold and silver are very. Yeah, you're right. Like yeah, it is so cool. I mean, life it's so mysterious. It's so crazy. I don't know. That's why I'm so fucking fascinated. It's like, it all gets crazy when you get into the law, like legal world of things, and that inevitably kind of brings you to obligation, and then that inevitably brings you to money to pay obligations. It's like it's
Wait,
so
real quick, what you
intriguing.
said. Sorry to go back for a sec, but you said about the silver purifying the water. Yeah, that is interesting. Like silver ion. So you're saying that used to be more like. Are you saying we've mined so much of it that it's not purifying the water anymore? Or are you just saying that in general, silver has a function of purifying water?
Nah, man. Think of it when they tapped into all the gold and all the silver in the fucking. It was all in the streams, man. It's what purified the waters. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if we're ever gonna pull all of it out of the earth or anything, but I mean, like, I think it used to be like plentiful in the earth.
Wait, so do you think that like humans have kind of like scraped a lot of the gold and silver off of like the surface layers to where we're not getting the same purification that would happen if the silver was there, that we've picked it?
For sure. Probably.
Interesting. And that could have to do with some of the imbalances even?
For sure. I mean, you could look at it from like a holistic fucking, ayahuasca approach where the veins of the earth need their silver back. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like,
it's like you're taking like nutrients from things right from the earth, and then we're using it to glorify, to put as jewelry, and then to use as money.
Right,
but then they're also used in all kinds of industry too, computers and all kinds of stuff.
Well, hold on. So here's the thing though. It's like we are the earth though. Here we are wearing these shiny silver things we found in the fucking streams.
You
yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. You're adorning the earth.
Yeah, beautifying the earth, man. Like, dude, we are the earth. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but
It's like
should we be pulling all this stuff from it? Like, dude, if you had like a ton of money and you wanted to like create a gold mine, would you feel good about just ripping gold out of the earth? It seems kind of rapey to the earth.
oh yeah, it's definitely totally rapey vibes.
Oh, just I'm gonna dig into you and just pull out all this gold and glorify myself with it while like.
But also, yo, it's weird. Like, if you start looking at like, you know, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think it is for our use, though. You know, it's weird. Like, I have you know, a love-hate relationship with it in the sense that, like I used to think it's like you know, you're like if you have a house and you know, it's like your front yard. And you're gonna be either like a hippie and be like, I'm never gonna cut anything, and I'm just gonna let all the bugs and everything live there in oneness, and you know what I mean? Or you're gonna fucking mow your lawn and keep it fucking, you know what I mean? Keep it nice looking, and you don't have to use pesticides, but you can cut your, you know, you cut your grass, keep it organized. I don't know. It's like, you know, man versus nature. Which way are you gonna go? And I think, you know,
Or
cutting your
or
lawn is a
you
good
just
thing.
make trails. Or you just make trails.
Well, I
You,
mean, I
you
do
don't
that
you don't
when
need you don't
I
need to
use
have
my
it
lawnmower.
either. But, well, it's a false construct. You don't need to have it either completely wild or completely mowed. You only need to make paths where you walk. I mean, you know, if you want to have an undisturbed path.
We do use a lot of resources from the earth. I mean, even like silverware made of silver. Let's just kind of think about that from before. Like you were saying, like we are the earth. That's kind of interesting. Like, are we pulling from the earth, or just are we the earth that it's kind of abundant for us to use? But that doesn't mean we can like abuse the earth. I don't think though. So if you go too far, it seems like it's a little too. You know, if you're just ripping the resources like out of balance. That's why like when people harvest plants, they kind of, you know, they leave some of it and only clip some so they can regrow, that kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
maybe we should ideally leave enough silver for the purification and use some of it for some cool stuff. If we could be a little bit more in balance with it.
Oh, I agree. But I wonder too if it's like, you know, who are we to think that it's a limited supply? You know what I mean? I don't know if it's a limited supply. Maybe it just keeps coming up from the earth right back into the street. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously not, because gold mining companies. I don't know how that all works. You know, like whether or not you know, it's or where deposits are of the earth. It's so interesting. Like, but yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
how are
It is
gold and
interesting. It's
oil
so
how are gold and oil like related in the earth? Like
That's interesting.
yeah, like was there any overlap?
Well, I don't know. I think oil is probably quicker to be created than gold. You know, like abiotic versus biotic oil and shit. You know, like I mean, I don't know, because like oil is more like the veins of the earth or something. You know, I don't know.
But you are correct. The
Right.
minerals they imprint on the water. So if they remove if they remove a lot of it, obviously it's going to be less imprints on the water. There's very much difference to water coming from a spring that travels up through many different types of minerals that charge the water compared to just some, well, surface dead surface water that came down from a cloud.
By the way, just apparently there is gold in oil, in crude oil. There's 10.57 ppb up to is what this is saying in actual crude oil. So and it says here 6.3 barrels would render you 1 ounce. Is that what it says here? Oh no, that says 1 ounce bought 6.3 barrels. Never mind. Um, but yeah, so I guess there is some gold in oil naturally. I figured there probably was. So what is gold then? It's just like some kind. It's just in the earth, or I mean, that's the question. Where do all minerals come from? Because they say gold comes from like neutron stars exploding in outer space vacuums. So That's where they're going with it in the mainstream.
Dude, I'm just amped they're going to be mining asteroids. You know, that's where it's like flat Earth has got to tone down a little bit. You know, we can't let the normies get onto that one. You know, like what if like Jaron was approached by like, you know, our government was like, look, we really got to have people thinking that the fucking asteroids thing with the mining is going to happen. So we can't let you, like, for national security's sake, go back to the globe. You know what I mean?
I was thinking a trippy way to compromise someone, like in Jaron's position. Let's say Jaron is just a regular guy, and then he was, let's just say, in that speculative kind of hypothetical, or just could go for anyone if anyone was compromised. It'd be funny if like they came to him and they're like, even though they know the Earth is flat, they come to him and they're like, okay, we are the Illuminati, but the Earth is a globe. We're telling you right now, it actually is a globe. We're not lying about that, but we are lying about other shit, but we're not lying about that. So, we actually need you to flip to the globe because, the flat Earth thing is actually just, a sidetrack, whatever. And yeah, like you said, like for national security or something, that's like out of a movie plot. But like, it'd be funny. It's like if they go to someone, whoever they're going to do that to, and they actually, pretend like they're revealing, no, the Earth really is a globe, to then, you know what I'm saying? Instead of being like, hey, it's flat and we need you to lie, it's like, hey, no, it's a globe. It really is. We are the Illuminati. It is. Therefore, flip to it. It's the right thing anyways. You want to be on the winning team, right? So just flip to it. And then, yeah, that's just kind of a interesting way to think about it, is that they would come and do like the double bluff, to get him to think to get whoever to think they're not lying, to then think they're going to the truth. That's just kind of a twist on it.
Hey, bro, can I say something real quick?
Fuck yeah. How you doing, brother?
I think good. How you doing?
Dude, I don't put fucking gas in my truck without thinking about you, bro. FE, nigga.
Really? That's right, bro.
FE,
That's
bro.
funny.
FE.
I know. Oh yeah. Oh, on the dashboard. Yeah.
Yeah, the FE, the empty and fuel full.
Yeah.
I
Because
like a
look,
gas
like it's like this.
gaslight us, bro.
Wait, what is
Yeah.
it? Tell us what they did.
They tell us that oil comes from dinosaurs, right? And then when we run out in the car, they show us the gaslight, bro. They gaslight us, and they even light the gas thing up. You know what I mean? And then right next to it is FE. You know?
Empty and full. They're
They put that shit right in plain sight, bro.
Dude, that is so funny. Gaslight.
It's true. Yeah.
The light
Right
comes
in
on
plain
when you
sight.
hit empty. That's too
Yeah.
funny, dude.
And
Nice
then
FE.
also 65 is like the normal speed limit on the freeway throughout United States, and the 65 is FE in the alphabet. But I was gonna mention something about Jaron. The whole thing with him flipping, I think he was forced to in some way, shape, or form. I don't think he was just like, fuck this, I'm gonna just flip, and like, because he knows he lost like a major following. I mean, whatever. But besides that, I don't think they flipped him to make flat earthers into globers, or to turn flat earthers. They don't care about that. There's not enough flat earthers to really make that huge of a difference. I think what it is they flipped him so the globers will see that shit, and it's just like another like chicken suit type of fucking beyond the curve, what's his name's gyroscope or whatever, the dude from Globebusters. You know what I mean? Like I think they did it just so it's another thing that globers will see, like the young kids will see that shit and be like, I'm not even gonna look into it. Even a flat earther went and realized, like, dumb, you know what I mean? That's what it's for, I think. And then of course, with little repercussions being like a lot of flat earther, it'll put flat earthers in dissension with each other. I mean, that's not their main goal though. That wouldn't be hard to do. That's just a byproduct of what they were trying to do. You know what I mean? Because the military does things for 20 different reasons. Like if the towers wouldn't have fallen, then they had a tornado waiting in the harbor just in case. You know what I mean? Plan B, C, whatever. That's the way I look at it. I don't know.
Well, yeah, also too, I think like, flat earth is like one of like the most profound mysteries of the mystery schools.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? So it's like, like the idea that people are going to expose that, I don't know. I just don't. You know, it's like it's one of the most sacred mysteries of the mystery schools, and I just don't think they're gonna give up that one real easily. You know?
I think that I think they've been since who knows how long, but for a long time they've been looking at algorithms to figure out what it is about a person's life, what can get them to see the truth about flat Earth. Because think about how many millions of people see way more information than we saw when whatever it was that clicked in our brain, it was organic, and from that moment on we can never look back, you know what I mean? But there's so many people you see on a day-to-day basis that are I mean, I've flat smacked friends for years, dude. I always said, like, if I had anybody who gave me even a fraction of the information I'm sharing, I would have been like, what, you know what I mean? But it's a gene that's only in certain people, and I think it's the minority. And I don't think they've figured out the algorithm. Like, they can't quite, like, if somebody gets murdered, they're going to look at all these different murders, right? These murder victims, and try to pinpoint the exact fucking place where any of them cross paths, or the one that the link that links them all together, right? I don't think they can find that link to figure out who becomes a flat earther and who doesn't. Because if they did, they could just glitch it, take it right out with fucking when the kid's born, or maybe while still in the womb, or even pre-birth, even. You know what I mean? They'd
I
figure
feel
something
like
out, but they don't have it.
Well, I'm more of like a
Yeah.
pro. Like, I mean, I hear you. I'm in the pro-spiritualist sense. It's like that's what I think. Like, and I used to talk about this back with the whole like, oh, what the fuck, the American Stone, God, Georgia Guidestones and shit. Like the
Yeah, yeah,
idea that
yeah,
like, like they wanted to kill off 90% of the population, right?
yeah.
Because why? How? Because and why? How could you move into a golden age with a cacophony of retards? Like, because you figure like there's only not that many flat earthers, and then there's like 90% of the rest of the population. What if the goal was to get rid of all the globers? Because why would you want to move into a fucking prosperous future of the world with a bunch of fucking retards that'll put a needle in their arm because somebody fucking told them to?
Well, I think it's like this. I think the reason they haven't just because they could just use direct energy weapons and wipe out 90% of the population. I don't think they
Oh,
can for spiritual
well,
principles.
that's what, yeah, brother. That's what my whole thing about court shit is, like law. Like
Yeah,
when you go to court, they don't know if you're a child of God, bro.
true.
They don't know. They don't know who you are. They don't know. They don't. You might be when you show up to court. You know, like Jesus returned, and they have to fucking figure that out before they crucify you. And so they got to ask you all. That's why you get your day in court. Normies
Yeah,
get wrecked. Normies get wrecked all day long, every day. Because who are you? Oh, you live at 123 B Street. Get in the fucking closet. And then when you come in,
yeah.
like they are always shit testing to find out who God's people are. And they're mean
Well,
to anyone who they're mean as fuck to
I,
anyone who
I think
isn't one of God's people, bro. Because God's
I
people.
think though I think flat Earth is the bottom line. Like, once somebody understands that, then everything else can fall into place.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Because I'll tell you what, flat earthers are just as I used to. It's the glober tendencies. You could be a flat earther all day and still be a glober to me.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
true.
saying? Like I don't care if you're gonna come. Like there's all kinds of
Yeah,
flat earthers I was at war with when I first come out here. Yeah, because like, and
yeah.
they're the ones that fucking, you know, I mean, God bless them. Like, I look at it like flat earthers are like, either like, we're some of the most traumatized. We traumatized ourselves with all this information, dude.
Yeah.
And either you can.
I think it's everything's a lot simpler than they make it out to be, or that sometimes even we perceive it. It's way simpler than that.
I agree, and I think it's also like, dude, we don't know how powerful we are, and
Exactly. Yeah,
flat earthers get a
totally
taste.
not.
You get a taste of that power, and then like anything, if you're still a glober, you're gonna run with the power. Kind of like what Riggs and Rixie were talking about earlier when I walked in, was like the idea of what causes us to follow people like personalities online, or what causes us to like and to identify with people, to identify with someone so much that you're going to fight with everyone else. Like, what's up with that? Because like the trick is they don't care whether it's about apple pie versus peach cobbler. It's divide and rule, divide and rule.
Yeah.
And that's why the flat earth, that's
Divide
why
and
I've always,
conquer.
yeah, and that's why I've always tried to be cool with the other side. Because the whole thing is that if they want to divide and rule, then you as an intellectual revolutionary need to know that you need to unite the people. The only fucking proper response to fucking their divide and conquer is unite and educate.
Yeah.
And but the
Yeah.
problem is collectivism sucks. The problem is collectivism sucks. Like I've learned it. I tried to fucking put all my efforts into a bunch of flat earth groups that came and went because a bunch of
Yeah.
fucking egotistical faggots couldn't fucking handle sharing the spotlight or something. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I got my suspicions. But yeah, man,
I
fucking
think if somebody becomes internet famous and all they're talking about is flat Earth, right? And they're solid. I think they can only reach a certain amount of viewers or views before they're compromised. And I mean, if they refuse to fucking bend over, they might get taken out. They could get hit with the frequency. They could leave half their jaw slack the rest of their life. Like, there's so many things, and the more things you gain on Earth, like a family, a wife, a house, the harder it is for you to let go. And they know every single Jenga piece to pull out in order to cripple you without looking like anybody did it to you. And so when people reach a certain height in their stardom and they're preaching flat Earth, they're gonna get got to. And I don't know what that, maybe 30,000 viewers, a million views, who knows? But certain people have fucking got the attention of certain people. And I mean, think about it. If they went through all this fucking trouble to lie about the globe, why wouldn't they send somebody in there to compromise certain fucking people that we may have looked up to at one time? I mean, it's crazy to think that they fucking wouldn't, dude.
well, that's why it's just your job. That's why my whole thing was death to the gurus. You know what I mean? Like no gurus in this. There's no gurus in this.
No,
And like, as soon as we get
if
to
there
that,
is, they're not that famous on the internet. You know what I mean?
well, no, there is no guru. Like I can't give somebody the moment of profundity it was for me when I realized that I trusted myself, that I wasn't spinning.
Yeah,
That moment of clarity for me was fucking just so profound. Like it was just like,
yeah.
like my fucking like I remember at the time too, my buddy was like all about the fucking what are those earth waves? What are those fucking
Cosmic plate.
no, that solar fucking flare fucking testing that they do. Where they read the whatever scales. What the fuck is a scale? Geo, help me out, man. The human resonance or something?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
the
Schumann
resonance of
resonance.
Yeah, yeah. Like all that shit at the time, I remember my buddy was like, dude, this shit is off the charts right now. And like, when we were all fucking like kind of waking up, we were like, what the fuck? And like we could it's like you could feel it. And
They say it's
yeah, man.
7.83 hertz. Base, which is they claim is the base Schumann resonance of atmospheric electromagnetic frequency, 7.83. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, man, all that shit is pretty cool.
Hey, have you guys ever heard anything about people people like alchemists boiling their own piss?
I
Hello?
can't say I
Scratching my
have, and
finger. Did you
can't
hear
say I
that?
have.
I think we're just waiting for the punchline at this point.
No, my phone went out for a second. The screen went black. No, it's not a punchline. Have you guys heard anything about that? About alchemists boiling their piss for like days at a time and mixing it with other concoctions?
I
No?
wouldn't put it past them.
That sounds like some shit from India, bro.
Here's the thing is when you get your blood taken, you know how like they have a thing where three different colors come out of three different tubes. One's clear, one's golden, and one's red.
I've
Okay,
never heard
well, I
about
don't,
that.
Yo, they were
So
boiling piss for. They were boiling piss.
yeah. Okay. So like, I guess when you look under a electric high-powered microscope
Hello?
and you look at P, it has the same golden
Mic
sparkle that
check.
only gold has.
Yeah, we hear you.
So I mean, I don't know, but I've been hearing a lot more about it lately. And what if there is a way to extract gold from our piss through some type of like alchemy process? You know?
Well, that's
I mean, like
interesting.
what more? Like, if you think about it, if everything is the opposite of what they tell us, like if if what they call space is only like 70 something miles up, let's just say, right? But then they're going to say it's infinite. And then what if the Earth is infinite, but they're going to say, you know, you can only go so far before you come back on yourself. So
Dude,
it's like
that's what you gotta
basically,
crack, dude. That's what you gotta crack. That we can pull gold from our urine because we're
I know,
urinating all day, every day, dude. If you could get like any like comparable amount of gold from your urine, dude, like
I know,
that
right?
would change the world. Everybody could just have the like. I mean, I know that like not like the idea of like everyone being rich. I realize there's the idea of people, you know, there's still things that need to get done, but I'm just saying like that'd be wild, dude. If we all were just a walking gold machine like that.
Changes
Yeah, but
the
no, they
changes
would
the
never let.
ramification. Oh, go on. Go on.
Yeah, yeah. I think things like that would get like if you start making, like I said, if you get too many viewers on that shit like that, you will be just obliterated. And so like there was this chick I was talking to from Great Britain, and she said that a lot of people she knows over there have the hydrogen cars, and it's just a simple thing that a mechanic can take out and replace with something else, but they don't go around telling people about it. It's just something they have, and they're happy with it for themselves, you know.
I know a guy who does pee, and he says there's a certain type of pee. It's called golden urea, or something.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know. Maybe that. He says it's a certain color, and he goes, "That's the healing one."
Hmm.
Well, have you heard too that like even the idea like it is kind of a theory, but like that they're actually taking our urine, like our waste, and they're running it through and they're extracting gold from it and not telling us, and then process like taking gold from our actual feces and
Dude,
urine.
that makes a lot of sense, dude. What if they are?
Yeah,
There's
dude, and then
so
that's how they have so much of gold. Like if they're doing that, and there's the idea too that our heart actually makes gold. Like our heart is a gold generator, so then our waste would have it in there. Wouldn't that be
Yeah.
crazy if they were extracting it out of our waste?
Now, what if we only ate like we're supposed to? What if we only ate fruits and vegetables, right? And then we didn't eat any processed food or anything, or and then fasted a lot too? I bet you that would be the more pure, like with all the fucking shit that people eat and all the processed food and everything. There's probably such small amounts in our urine. But if we, you know, had like the perfect diet or whatever, the way we're supposed to, I bet you, you know, it would be rich with it. And maybe that's how they were able to build like certain, you know, all the old structures with gold. Maybe people had like ate purely back then or whatever, you know.
Yo, it's how they found phosphorus. Two alchemists were looking for the philosopher's stone, and one of them boiled piss, and I think that's how phosphorus was discovered, or how they figured out how to make it, or whatever.
Yeah, because it smells like it kind of, you know what I mean? Like that ammonia
Oh,
smell.
now you can hear me?
Huh?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. This guy couldn't hear me earlier.
Can you hear Jeremy?
No, he heard you, but he built upon what you said.
Yeah, that's interesting. I just looked it up. It's in 1669, the German alchemist Hennig Brand discovered phosphorus while attempting to create the philosopher's stone, a substance believed to turn base metals into gold by boiling down urine and heating the residue, resulting in a glowing, waxy substance he named phosphorus.
Trip, huh?
Oh, crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see, that's what's so crazy to me is you think of all the like creativity. I pin it all to the moon landing. As soon as they went to the moon, they carterized mankind's imagination.
Yeah, for sure, huh?
And like our this is why flat Earth is so dope, is that it's like it's the reawakening of all the conversations that were killed when they fucking got everyone to think they went to the moon.
Yeah. It's crazy how
Yeah,
many
that's what.
people just believe in Starlink and all that shit, you know?
Well, it's not even that like those things like Starlink makes sense. Like geostationary satellite or satellites traveling around the Earth makes sense to me. But
Yeah.
like, the idea that you're trillions of miles away, that doesn't make sense to me. Like going to Mars, like come on, bro. Like, but at the same time, I think of it like, dude, the normies need this shit. Like, you're not surrounded by intelligent flat earthers.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by people with teeth that will bite you for gold.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're like that's why law is so righteous, is because it defines human beings as a monster. And that's why I'm convinced like human beings come from monkeys. Mankind was created by God. You know, human beings
I was
are
thinking about
the
how you said the
degenerate fucking
sorcerer's
ancestors
stone.
of monkeys did. What's up?
Did you say this? You said the sorcerer's stone, right?
Philosopher's Stone.
A philosopher's stone, and then that made me think of kidney stones for some reason.
The human is a degenerative term. You don't want to label yourself as a human. You want to be a being.
But just
Human, human,
a man or
human
a
is
woman.
a human is an identity that comes with corruption. It has it's like a conceptual framework or a model that corrupts who you are. So you don't want to talk about yourself as a human, and you don't want to hold on to the ideal that comes with the human, because it actually isn't ideal. You're a being. When you say human being, you're confusing being with a label that is meant to deceive and disillusion you.
Well, it's interesting what they're trying to do is categorize us along with like monkeys, plants, and fucking, you know, like Homo erectus. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to
Exactly.
put us into all the,
Homo erectus.
Yeah.
yeah.
So think of it in the globe paradigm, flat Earth paradigm, etc. model. Human is like a model, and the monkey is like, well, like the math to the model in some way. It's just, as you earlier said, philosophical, it's just lofty ideas put together in an attempt to deceive you.
It actually says here that urine, going back to urine, it says it contains small traces of gold, 0.02 milligrams of gold per litre exists in human urine.
Damn.
It's a fact.
What if the gold that they they say like in 1849 they came to California and mined for gold. What if the gold that they get from the ground was the piss from like giants that's been sitting there for like thousands of years? Just like I believe that crystals actually come from trees. Like trees turn into petrified wood and then into crystals. And what if the gold is from like giants' piss from like thousands of years or something? You know what I mean? Or hundreds of years. It very well could be, you know?
But it says certain gold miners and refiners use urea, that's that unique urine, to purify gold, particularly in gold refining processes.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like a disputed idea. Actually, I'm looking it up. Um, it doesn't seem that there is actually any. There's a claim. Some reports suggest that scientists in India discovered gold in the urine of a specific cow breed. Um, uh,
Hey, that could be why though that they have the sewage systems and why they have the what they call refineries for fucking excrement and everything. What if all those are just making gold out of our piss? You know?
right, but I don't know if there is any. It says, some, like, I asked, like, how much gold is in urine? And it said, while some Indian scientists claim to have found traces of gold in the urine of a specific cow breed, the claim of 3 to 10 milligrams of gold per liter of urine has been widely disputed and is considered scientifically inaccurate. And it's a claim about cows, but I don't know why it went to that. But then it gets
Cash
into how
cow.
that guy, oh shit, that guy, Hennig Brand, it says Hennig Bragg, an alchemist, is thought to have used upwards of 1,500 gallons of human urine in his quest to make gold, but he ultimately discovered phosphorus, not gold. So yeah, every time I've looked it up, it has something to do with cows. It's not human related.
But I mean
About the
that
gold.
is, I mean, like if you look up like radium, right, and you look at the price of radium, how fucking expensive radium is, and then it says it's not even for any commercial use; it's just for private scientific use, right? You know that's bullshit. I mean, they use
Okay, hold on.
radium.
Well, real quick, minuscule traces. So in humans, minuscule taste is 10 to 9 nanograms to 12 to or 10 to 12 picomoles of gold may exist in the diet. And when absorbed into the blood in an ionized form as a salt, gold is filtered out of the body and is found in urine. But I don't know how legit it is.
Yeah, that's what I've got here. They make a medicine as well from from urine.
So
It's
tomorrow,
called.
you guys everyone's gonna wake up and be like, all right, everyone in the family, everyone could get your urine, put it in this pot here. We're gonna boil it down, make some gold.
But didn't they used to do that? All those sayings like you haven't got a pot to piss in, or you're taking the piss, or you piss taker. It all comes from when they used to collect the urine from like the tanneries. They said that they used it to process the leather. So if you was like piss poor, you didn't, like you lived on selling your pee, your urine. And if you didn't have a pot to piss in, you were super poor.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't sell your pee.
See, they bought piss back in the day, dude. Isn't that crazy?
It's
Now
mad.
they just
They
give it
went
away for
house to
free.
house.
See, it must have been fucking. You know what I mean?
They said the tanneries used it, and then what happened is they stopped using piss and they used something else. They used a chemical or something.
Yeah, they say it's for tannery, but it's just weird. There we go back to the cow again. You know what I mean? And think
But
about the golden goose, like the goose that lays golden eggs and shit.
I think they did change it from animal, human to animal.
Maybe, but maybe they didn't, and maybe though the more gold's produced in the urine, the different type of diets we have. You know, because gold is like one of the best conduits, right? Well, things that come out of the ground, like a potato, for instance. Like let's say you have a potato, and you can put um some metal stick or like metal prongs into it, and you can power a light bulb with that because of electricity. But if you like start to boil the potato or cook it in any way, you kill the electrical, right? Well, it comes from the ground, it has electricity in it, which is conductive, you know what I mean? And so what if us eating those type of conductive like vegetables and stuff like that raw produce more gold in our piss or whatever, you know? I mean, it could be.
There's a process here of gold refining, and it says urea, a major compound of urine, is used in gold refining to neutralize excess nitric acid in the aqua regia method. This allows for safe precipitation of gold. It's quite fascinating.
Yeah. What do they call the sewage. Do they call the sewage places, the sewage plants, a refinery or no?
No, they're just called sewage, but they're open. They don't put chemicals with it. It's mad. It's just a process. It runs through stones, like different sized stones, kind of thing.
Okay, so I wonder what because that's when they sift for gold too. Like when they're panning, they just run it through like water and stones too.
Yeah, you got hop.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, what do they say that they're doing that for with the sewage plants? Why did they say that they have to run them through a machine or a process? Why wouldn't they just put them out with all the rest of the sewage? You know?
Or put a chemical with it to neutralize everything. I don't know. But
if you think about it, if our piss and shit went into the ocean and it's natural from us into a natural water source, it wouldn't need unnatural chemicals to make it safe to go in the natural water when it's already natural. Like our shit can help fertilize plants and stuff, you know? So I think that whole thing about why they have the sewage plants, I think is bullshit. Have you ever, I thought, this is how I thought of the earth. I thought of the earth as an upside down fountain. Like a fountain will have like water spurting out of the middle, and then all around that circle edge, it'll be going down. But what if the earth is the opposite? Like water goes down in the middle and then comes up all around the circular edge, and it comes up as ice, and then its own like desalinization process instead of like having to go through a machine or anything. It just freezes, and the freezing of the water is a desalinization process. It kind of makes sense, you know.
there's definitely some kind of correlation between piss and gold, though.
Yeah, for sure, huh?
Well, me freezing meat with bacteria and it doesn't desalinate it.
Freezing meat.
You see, the shit of most people aren't already clean. It's filled with chemicals.
Oh, because of the food we eat, right?
Well, you get residue of medicine and all kinds of stuff in the shit. So they excuse that they shouldn't be putting it into the ground because it's filled with, well, chemicals. That should already be a clear signifier that, well, they're aware that you're eating garbage.
Yeah, totally.
So they don't want the garbage back into the nature, although they fill nature with other types of chemicals.
Yeah. Have you guys seen how like remember how in 2023 all kinds of food packages would say like non-GMO, this does not contain GMO, but the things that did contain it didn't say it until the 1st of January, I think, of 2024, when they started to put it on all the labels, and it would say like contains a bioengineered whatever. It's always after the ingredients, they'll have the address of the place, like where it was made, and then below that it'll say contains bioengineered ingredients, and like so much shit nowadays has it. And I noticed that like Ralph's came under a new ownership or something, where they had like a crew going in there and remodeling the whole store, and then they put like paintings all over the walls that say like organic, and shows like farm fresh, local farmers fresh. But I noticed all their products, like the special select, almost all of them would have the bioengineered ingredients written on there now. And then they stopped selling like borax and like just other things that they had that were like natural. They stopped having, and then they came out with the bioengineered. Like they started putting it on all the shit. But I don't know if you guys have been noticing that or not. That shit's in so much stuff now, and they have to say it now.
And I noticed it when I was in Canada, the labels on the food, they look really innocent, like, ascorbic acid, but it's like a GMO one.
Yeah.
And just really crazy things. See, in the UK, we have like E numbers. So if you've got anything, it will just have the E numbers. They have to list them. But I noticed in
Okay.
America and Canada as well, if it's like less than half a gram of sugar, they don't have to list it.
Okay.
So if you've got
Yeah.
5 different ingredients with all under half a gram of sugar, they don't have to list it. So it's kind of a bit mad.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know what they're doing with all the shit, but I think it sounds more likely that they could create oil with it, or some kind of like gasoline, than
Oh, from
gold.
shit? From shit?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense because like we actually have gas in our when we fart, you know what I mean? It's actually like gas, you can light it.
But they say like it's kind of mad that the water is taken from our houses and resold back to us.
And it's originally taken from the earth and it's a renewable resource. It's always renewing itself. Like we could never use all the water or all the oil. I think it's just like there's an unlimited amount. You know, in California, they made it illegal, even if you own your own property now, to use water dowsing rods, and then when you find the well to dig up your own well, they made it illegal in California.
It's because like
But we
in
but we can't
Spain,
pollute it.
Huh?
everyone has like their own water source.
Yeah.
Even on like I lived on an island, and you think like you live on an island, but there's fresh water underneath the ground. How is that possible when you're surrounded by
Right.
sea?
Yeah. Exactly. And you know the ease so easy to do it.
Everyone.
All you need is water. All you need is 2 copper rods to find out where the water is. You guys know about the water dowsing?
Yeah. Yeah, they reckon that you only have to drill down a certain amount on this island, and you will just find water. And the strangest thing is, there's not one river on the island, not one.
Huh.
If you want,
Trip, huh?
if you want to have water in its natural energized condition, you should have copper pipes throughout your system,
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
at segments in the distribution process, the water should be running through all types of minerals that are found down in the ground. And at the end, or at some point closer to the exit where you tap the water, you should have a vortexer so that the water gets organized and is now functioning more properly.
Yeah.
But I think you would like to have that too before it comes to the minerals, so that it's already organized when getting in contact with the minerals, so that it has been organized to receive information. Then the information, since it's organized, can now be fueled with it, and then you also just get it right in your cup in the end. But I don't know
Yeah.
how it will flow after first having gone through a vortexer, like if it will keep going through as a spiral through the tubes. So I would assume that you would have a vortexer too at the exit of the pipe, like entry and exit, and possibly some places in between.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And the reason for copper is because it's self-cleaning. You don't have to
Yeah.
swap the tube, and it doesn't fill up with it doesn't corrode on the inside and with debris, and then you have to swap out the entire system.
Yeah. Yeah. They you know how they like did away with all the copper pipes and put in like PVC, just like how they did away with the lead and the paint and all kinds of stuff like that. Was
But the
really
thing is,
actually good.
they don't get away with it.
What do you mean?
Well, those who buy these types of systems are already deceived, so no one's getting
Yeah.
away with it.
Yeah. True.
So it's just a trick. They were
Yeah.
deceived. No one's getting away with it. Now you have poison in the system. It's like
It's
having.
done then.
Have you heard before when you had lead in the paint on your house, so as
Yeah. Yeah.
to,
That's what I just said to the lead paint. How they got rid of it, but it's actually good to have that in the paint.
and then it's actually not again, because sure, the lead protects you from EMF and other things.
Yeah.
But then you got to think about the next step, which is that when the lead starts to go off your wall into your ground and it goes into your water,
Yeah.
and you're drinking lead. And then every time you paint your house wall, you are re-poisoning your environment and yourself.
Yeah.
So although it fights off the mold on the wall, perhaps the material
Mi-
itself is the problem, not or something
Mind you,
else that should have been done.
mind you, I've never heard of any studies finding deposits of lead in the brain ever. It's always mercury, aluminium, those kind of things. I've never heard of lead being deposited in the brain.
Because the lead goes in the skeleton. So when you're getting older and your bones are getting more brittler and weaker, the problem is that as soon as you get a small break in your skeleton, you're now depleting it of large accumulations of lead. This is when it becomes a problem, and you can quickly get Alzheimer's and other things. So it's not that it stores in the brain and you're getting damage over time chronically. It's that you
Yeah.
accumulate a deposit in your body that at some point, if you are unlucky or breaking a bone, or something else happens that weakens the bone, or you're doing something else that makes the body use resources in your bone, that is when the lead is becoming a problem and it poisons your system. We told you about this.